Elizabeth Oval, and it's round 18. Central District versus Sturt. 9th position plays 8th. The Dogs currently in 8th position. Semler bounces the ball. Semler and Daryl Schramm officiating, but umpire Stephen Semler will have to recall that, as it was a very poor bounce. So rather indifferent way to start the game. Take 2 for Semler. That's a better bounce. Big lounder in the ruck. So Reynolds got his hands to that. Krieg again, he's besieged upon. Oh, that's holding the ball, and that was pretty cutthroat. Not much time at all to dispose of that. Now Whittlesey feeds off to the running Heinrich. His kick is long. Oh, nearly the mark taken by Field. In fact, it's been paid. So a couple of ticky touch frees early. Field too far out to score. On the half-forward flank, he spears out a pass, looking for Wilmot back into the side to hit him right on the chest. It was well dispatched. And Ian Wilmot has had an up-and-down season. Struck a purple patch about a month ago, and in recent weeks he's been sidelined by injury.
Yeah, he still has 47 goals for the year. The Double Blues languishing 9th on the premiership ladder. It's a strong booted goal. It won't make the distance. However, Klomp's in the goal square. The ball comes to ground. Oh, goodness me. Ground loses. Greg Smith just handballed that across the line. And that was a pretty soft point.
Well, that's a sign of a lack of confidence, I would say. He was flanked by Pryor. There was a couple of other Bulldog players there, but he obviously just still finding his way in South Australian football at the moment, because there was no need to concede that point. We'll see if it makes a difference as the game progresses. That's a good mark taken there by Robertson. Robertson fed it off to Pryor. Pryor's kick is long as usual. Out there underneath that is Keith Allen, I think. It was Allen playing with his socks down. Taken by Anderson, the little live wire rover, gets the ball back towards Greg Thomas. Pretty heavy the conditions out there. Philip Graham up high, couldn't take the mark. Now fed out by Girdham. Anderson lost his footing again. It's pretty slippery out there. Now the ball fed out towards Downs, and the Double Blues have a chance to clear.
The Double Blues go wide underneath that one. Almost a good mark taken there by Peter. The umpire's picked out a free kick. He has, in fact, going the way of
Chris McGowan.
Chris McGowan. McGowan's kick is a long one. The ball comes to ground. Thomas over the top, gets the handball off. Greg Whittlesey there. Field feeds out the handball. Finally, it's Underwood. The long kick forward. Wilmot again, the big fella. Couldn't take that one. Scott Lee gets off the handball in defence. Out comes Bubner, playing at full back today, Bubner. Under pressure, he got the handball to Robertson. Robertson goes over the top. Pryor with run. Now the Bulldogs are starting to set it up. Krieg sells the dummy well. Now places the kick deep in the forward zone. Girdham's out. He's got it. Well placed, Peter Krieg. Now Girdham plays on. The umpire calls it that way on the left boot. He's forced to the point of the square it goes. Anderson underneath that one. The little fella might have it. He has. Well, he slipped as he was going for it. Over the top of him came John Richter, and the ball fell into the arms of young Anderson. So luck's of fortune. Maybe it's the Bulldogs' day. Anderson lines up from 15 metres out directly in front, and we've only had 3.5 minutes of play. Number 34, the Guernsey dirtied already. The helmet lines him up, bangs away, point blank range. That's the first on the board for the Bulldogs. They're one straight goal. The Double Blues 1 point.
Well, that was a classic example of keeping your eyes on the ball. The ball was hooked around his body by Girdham. Then young Anderson got underneath that one. He lost his footing, and as he was falling to the ground, he took a strong mark with his hands, and that was a great mark, and that's a good start to the Bulldogs. We see their reserves won by 122 points today, absolutely thrashing the reserves side. So for Cowboy Neil's sake, let's hope that the senior side can continue with that form.
Yeah, well, of course, the Bulldogs are on top of the premiership ladder in the reserves. Sturt are no slouches either. They're currently sitting 5th. High standard reserves game. Umpire Semler today with the ball, officiating with Daryl Schramm. Lounder with the big thump forward. We've seen the big fella do that on plenty of occasions. Over the top of that one, Darviniza. He couldn't control the ball. Finally out the back it goes. The ball goes wide. Now finally Smith, the veteran of the Double Blues side, out of defence, puts it towards Klomp. He's underneath it. Brady thumps the ball down. Robertson now an opportunity. He can't control it. Neither can Scott Lee. Whittlesey shovels it out for the Double Blues. Now Brady an opportunity. Greg Smith. So a bit of scrambly play. Van Dommel in trouble. The handball out to Smith. Has time to steady and place the ball short. He goes to Big Lounder. The big fella has the mark. Clever feed. Krieg running well, providing plenty of bite through that centre line for the Central District side. That kick wasn't well put, and McCarthy has the mark in defence for the Double Blues.
Been a solid player all year, McCarthy, as he spears that pass out towards Daryl Smith. He's got plenty of time to dispose of this, and it's another long drop punt kick by the boundary line. Oh, back into that was number 26 for Sturt, Peter Day, showing a lot of courage. Van Dommel with the feed out towards Greg Smith. Smith kicks a wobbly one, and it finds the waiting arms of McCarthy again. Tony McCarthy been very serviceable this season. The kick's wide again, out looking for Reynolds. Couldn't control it. Ball comes to ground. Van Dommel held him. And he didn't have possession, but the free kick wasn't paid, so we'll have a throw in on the grandstand wing.
Renee certainly let the umpire know that he was held, but the umpire wasn't having any of that. They're letting the game flow from behind. Underwood thumped the ball down. Pryor in the way for the Double Blues. A high ball into the forward zone. Underneath that one, Allen, he had the ball punched clear. Now an opportunity for Philip Graham. The long handball over the top to Rudy Mandamaker. If the ball can sit for him, he can have a shot at goal. He sells the dummy pretty well. Gurdham across the top to Graham. Graham blasts away at goals. Offline, one behind. Bulldogs 1 goal, 1. Double Blues 1 point. But I think the Central District side is certainly pretty keen on attacking today.
Well, we've had 6 minutes of this first quarter, and they've done most of the attacking. In fact, the Blues have only gone into attack on one occasion, and that was when Greg Smith conceded the point. So they look pretty sharp at the moment as Peter Reid brings that ball out to the outer side looking for Reynolds. He's being shadowed there by Launder. He managed to get the spoil away. Now the ball's picked up and fed out there by Keith Allen. Ball back into attack looking for Mandamaker, and he takes a strong mark. Well, there's no doubt, no questioning whatsoever that he's the key to their forward setup. He's had a great season. Played in both state games. He's only about 45 metres out. Angle shouldn't be of great concern. It's normally hot or cold with his kicking. And let's say he could be hot today because that one split the centre. So it's the second goal to the Bulldogs. They move on to 2-1. The Double Blues trailing on 1 point.
Mandamaker's first goal for the afternoon takes his tally for the season to 73 goals. In fact, 73 goals, 37. So it's pretty accurate kicking from the big fella. It's been a focal point all year for the Bulldogs, and heaven knows where they'd be if they didn't have him firing.
Back in the centre, it's Launder opposed to Reynolds again. It's a good bounce by Schramm. Reynolds won the tap down towards Underwood. He's ruck roving today. His handball was snared by Greg Thomas. Holding the ball. He had no chance then. Gee, they're pretty hot on that today. That's 2 decisions we've seen like that. Smith feeds off to the running Underwood. Uses his full 15 metres. It's a wobbly kick forward, and Bubner cuts it off at the pass. A good diving mark. Peter Bubner has aroused some interest from the Brisbane Bears, along with a few other Central players. His kick out wide. Out there is Klomp. Punches the ball forward. Showing plenty of pace was Lee Adams. Still had his body over the ball. And eventually the ball goes out of play on that outer side.
He did that pretty well, Lee Adams. Youngster playing his first senior game for the Bulldogs. Hails from the Mannum area too. He looks like good country stock. 22 years of age. Did that pretty well. On that occasion, ball flew out to Gurdham. He was tackled strongly from behind by Downs. Did well to get out of trouble there, Gurdham. On the left boot he goes, centres the ball. Greg Thomas in space. Where else do you find him? Thomas to centre half forward. Anderson's underneath that one. He dropped what he should have taken. The handball finally came out wide. The player with the ball was Richter. The kick wasn't well put, but fortunately for the Double Blues, Whittlesey was held when not in possession and has the free kick at the true centre position. Goes grandstand side out on the lead and well placed. A beautiful kick out in front of Muskeni. So the Double Blues playing possession football when they get it. Central District still doing all the attacking, and that ball wasn't well put. Launder couldn't take the mark. Brady over the top of it for the Double Blues. Klomp's there also. Launder tried to shovel it out, but Scott Field was just too good. He grabbed the ball. Now finally it comes out. Scott Lee, the defensive kick away. Over the top of that one, Michael Smith. He couldn't control it. Now Whittlesey gets it off. Daish. Now an opportunity there. Greg Smith. Umpire says he'll ball it up. So good desperation by both sides on that occasion.
10-minute mark of this first term. The Dogs on 2-1, 13 points. Sturt on 1 point. 12-point advantage as Anderson gets the ball away. It's a quick kick, but it's gained it on the chest of Heinrich. He thought about playing on. He was flanked by Smith. Now the ball goes over the top to Smith. Daryl Smith in a little bit of trouble. He needs support from Richter. Oh, well done by the young fella in Lee Adams, but oh, he's given the free kick away. Gee, they're pretty hot today, these umpires. Heinrich again out towards Darvanese. He tried to chip out a short pass to Moskeni. That came unstuck, but he recovers well. Now drives in a long ball. Lounder back there. So too is Reynolds. Bubner at the front of the pack. Over the top of that is number 14, Chris McGowan. Players working hard. Painter in there, managed to get it out towards Reynolds. He's tackled. Play on the call. McGowan again, now taken by Krieg. He'll do something with it as he chips it inboard toward Greg Thomas. Now the ball, in fact, it's Smith. The ball goes over the top towards Robertson. Robertson's handball was poor. Back there his eye. Now out to Smith. He's getting a ton of kicks in this first quarter. He goes wide to Painter. Painter drops what he should have taken. Has time to recover. Over the top to Scott Field. Field in turn, his handball was poor as well. In there is Pryor. And that has been called throwing the ball.
Yeah, well, you've got to wonder about the conditions out there. It is a little bit slippery. The way the players are giving away the ball, it makes you wonder. Short goes the ball. Scott Field has it. Nice chest mark, 25 metres out. The angle will be only slight. Scott Field, been a pretty improved player this year for the Double Blues. Was prominent last week in their good victory over West Adelaide. Now lining up for the Double Blues' first goal, and we've played just on 11 minutes into the first term. Not a difficult kick. The angle only slight. The distance shouldn't worry him. Neither does the accuracy. Right through the middle it goes. So the Double Blues, 1 goal, 1, 7 points. Trail the Bulldogs, 2 goals, 1, 13.
Well, that should just steady the Double Blues a bit. After a little bit of finessing in the forward lines, it was eventually Field who ended up with the ball. He's a pretty reliable kick. He's had a great first season in league football. Uni student. He's got plenty of brains, plenty of football talent as well. 12 minutes gone, 2-1, plays 1-1.
Bearded umpire Darryl Schramm to put the ball to ground. Recommencing play. Reynolds goes hard at it with Lounder. Lounder again gets the tap. Down it goes to Krieg. His kick is forward. Nobody can quite control that. Finally, the ball came out to Graham. He shot off a clever handball to Van Dommel, who in turn shot it off to I'm just trying to pick up who that was. A little hard. Greg Thomas. He has a shot at goal, and he's got it. So the Central District side shot straight back for the quick reply. Good goal to Greg Thomas. Well set up by a series of handballs.
Well, there's a couple of very slick handballs in that passage of play. Van Dommel fed out a beauty. The ball eventually ended up with Thomas, and he looked like he was just a slightly off balance there, but he hooked it round his body. And he's a pretty good snapshot at goal, Greg Thomas, the former Norwood player. So this game's opened up at a pretty reasonable pace. The Dogs are on 3 goals, 1-19. Sturt 1-1-7.
2 straight kicks the difference. Well, the Bulldogs haven't had good form recently. In fact, they've only won 2 of their last 14 games, and both of those were against Glenelg. But certainly have come out much stronger today already. Painter into attack for the Double Blues, puts it wide. Moskeni under that one, couldn't get the ball. Now Field sold the dummy almost, but couldn't quite do it. Finally, it was tapped on. Whittlesey was the man the ball was intended for. Underwood applies the tackle to Anderson as the kick goes wide. Scott Lee breaks the tackle, elects to go short. Underneath that one, Krieg, and he's covering plenty of ground today. Kick number 5, working pretty hard at centre for the Bulldogs. Kick is long. Underneath that one, an opportunity for Keith Allen. He couldn't control it. Greg Smith was there. He couldn't control it either. Finally, Smith for Sturt goes wide. Painter in turn puts the kick forward looking for Wilmot, but Bubner's out in front of Wilmot and has the easiest of chest marks.
Bubner's kick is long to the centre of the ground. It bounced off the chest of Lounder, but little Anderson picked the ball up, and a free kick's been picked out. And it'll go the way of Roger Girdham, who'd ran about 20 metres down the ground. He didn't know he'd won the free kick. I don't think anyone knows what that one was for. He's pretty happy to take it, though, as he drives the Dogs forward again. Robertson, he's got long arms, and he's got a good pair of hands, Jeffrey Robertson. Oh, no, he's called it a dead heat, and Robertson's not happy. Oh, he's held that ball right up.
Yeah, well, I think he's got reason to be.
Schramm. Well, I thought he had enough of it. Schramm bounces the ball. Big Lounder. Reynolds got the tap down to Underwood. Quick handball to Heinrich. They're using the ball well now, the Blues. Over to Whittlesey. His kick's a wobbly one. Plonk not showing a lot of pace. He's letting Painter do the work, but the ball socket off the ground by Scott Lee. Great defensive play, and we'll have a throw in the right forward flank in front of the grandstand here at Elizabeth Oval.
Clomp not happy with the way the ball's coming into the double blue forward zone. Not distributing it well at all. He's getting a little bit frustrated, Robert Clomp. Dash over the top of that one. Free kicks at the umpire. Went over the top of Anderson. Free kick to the Bulldog Rover. Goes back and has a long kick. No one home. Keith Allen comes across. He got hands to ball, couldn't take it. Finally a quick kick from Michael Smith. Just bounces inside the line. Of course, Michael Smith is the former East Perth recruit. He's only had a few games with the Bulldogs this season.
15 minutes gone. 19 points, plays 7 points. From behind, it was Lounder with a tap down to Krieg, having a good first term. His clearing kick out the direction of Mandermaker, or traps the ball brilliantly. In fact, he's won himself a free kick as well. So, gee, they're paying the frees early. Certainly not hard to get kicked out there today. Wasn't a lot in that. Umpire Schramm and Semler have to show his boss in the early stages of this game. Mandermaker already has one. About 40 metres out, starts it out to the right, coming back, but not. In fact, it's gone through, so it's a great kick. So he's certainly on target today, Mandermaker. That's his second goal. It's the Dogs' fourth. They're on 4-1, leading Sturt 1-1. And we've had 16 minutes of this first term.
Well, the slippery conditions are obviously suiting the Bulldogs. They're using the ball pretty well. They've been into attack most of this quarter. 4 goals is testimony to that. The Double Blues only have 1, but Rick Rudy Mandermaker with 2. Greg Thomas has 1 and Stephen Anderson, so it's their big full forward and their resting Rovers that are causing the damage.
Reynolds opposed to Lounder. In fact, it's Bytheen. Lounder's gone for a spell. Bytheen won the tap, and he's got it straight down to Greg Thomas. Thomas gets a clearing kick. It's a wobbly one forward. Underneath that, Anderson couldn't control it. Off hands is Richter. Oh, he's taken out with a beautiful bump there. Now the ball comes over the top. The snapshot there by Allen is offline, so another minor score. And that was a beautiful bump by Michael Smith. Good to see. Can't beat a good body clash. Another minor score. 4-2, plays 1-1.
Yeah, well, I think John Richter would disagree with you there, just feeling his head. I don't think he'd be too pleased about that one. Certainly Michael Smith lined him right up and gave it to him. Reynolds took front position. McGowan with the handball, got it off cleverly. Heinrich in turn will feed it back, just providing a little bit of run. McGowan did that pretty well. Shorty goes outer side along the boundary line in front of Downs and across the line. 17.5 minutes gone, first term, 26 plays 7. It's the Central District side by 19 points. Bytheen will take the ruck work. From behind it was Reynolds. Brady tapped it down. Heinrich shot off the handball, conceding ground. Painter dispatched a handball, but it only went as far as Krieg. He goes across the top. Run provided by Greg Thomas. Off the ground he goes. And there's a fight behind play. Players just having a swing. Gee, I'd like to have seen that on slow motion replay.
Well, that was a beauty. It was a big roundhouse right by Greg Thomas. But Underwood saw it coming and tipped him over the top of his shoulder. He landed right on the fence. They'll think twice before doing that again.
Yeah, well, I'm glad that one didn't connect, I tell you.
Free kick again. This time it goes the way of McCarthy.
Greg Thomas, I didn't realise he had that much aggression in him, Greg. Something must have upset him.
McCarthy to the outer side, looking for Klomp. Klomp managed to take a good mark there. That one was put out in front of him and gave him a far better chance. Robert Klomp, the veteran, drops that one in short. Looking for Smith, stolen off hands by Pryor. He's held without possession and has to win the free kick. Been a great player for a number of years now, Mark Pryor. The vice-captain for this Bulldog outfit. Very solid defender. Kicks a long ball, hugs the boundary line. McCarthy from behind, big fist away. Finds the safety of the boundary line. 19 minutes gone, 4-2-26, plays 1-1-7, and it's a pretty important game today because the Double Blues are currently in ninth position. They've won 4 games, and so too have South Adelaide, but Sturt with a superior percentage, and Central are only 1 game ahead, so both sides need to win this to ensure they don't win that wooden spoon. The kick out towards Moskeni. Buckley there, and it's an easy goal. Well, Buckley lost his footing. Great balance by Moskeni. And he banked through his first goal, his side second. That was well done, the Blues. So Sturt move on to 2-1. The Dogs are on 4-2.
Yeah, well, the Double Blues certainly do need a victory today, and they're starting now to put it together. That goal from Muskeni was good work. The Double Blues starting now to do some of the attacking. And you're quite right, if they can win today, they can actually move up a notch on the ladder. Their percentage is slightly better than the Central District side.
Similar again with the ball. Reynolds opposed to Bytheen. Reynolds yet to have a rest. He won that tap down towards Underwood. He looks the likely type as a ruck rover. Played early in the season off the half-back flank. Buckley from behind. In there is Scott Lee. Out towards Brady. His hair looks a little bit blonder since we last saw him. They had a trip to the hairdressers. Graham over the top of that. So too is Smith. Michael Smith. Guess we've got two Smiths out there, both recruits this year, Greg Smith and Michael Smith.
In fact, we've got three. We've also got Daryl Smith, who plays for the Double Blues. So when we call Smith, you can be forgiven for being a little bit confused. Philip Graham leads in the race for that ball. Anderson got there. Graham with good body work, strongly done. Well done by Richter. He's recovered from that heavy knock only moments ago. Got it off to Scottfield, who couldn't quite dispatch the kick. Underwood with the handball. Intercepted. Oh, cleverly done. Anderson down to Krieg. Krieg's on fire this turn. Rudy Man to make it out. The big fella has it. Oh, the umpire's paid the mark. Yes, that's the mark. Rudy with 2 goals. Now an opportunity for 3.
He kicked one from a similar angle, in fact nearly the exact same angle. He's probably about 5 or 10 metres further out. Well,
the wind is favouring that end of the oval. It's only a slight breeze. All he'll need to do is put it up into the teeth of goals, and the wind should do the rest. Big Rudy Man to make it. 2 goals already this term. Lines up for goal number 3. It's a beautiful kick off the boot. Big Rudy's got it. He's running hot today.
Oh, he certainly is timing those kicks magnificently. And that was a good mark from the big fella. He had to get very low to ground. He thoroughly committed himself at that ball. Held it long enough, in the umpire's opinion, to be paid that one, and he kicked a fine goal. In fact, he's kicked 3 goals now, so he's got off to a great start. And Peter Reid certainly got his problems back there at full back. We've had 21.5 minutes of this first term.
There's some key positional changes. Peter Bubner's picked up Ian Wilmot at full back. That happened at the start of the game. Peter Reid has the job at the other end of the ground of picking up man to make it. So the key forwards are certainly players to be watched today. Coming out with the ball finally is Gurdam. He tried to escape the tackle from McCarthy. He couldn't do it, said umpire Steve Semler. And McCarthy has the free kick. Off it goes. Daryl Smith playing a loose role as a ruck rover in defence. There's the man we're talking about, Reid. Bundled off the ball by Rudy Mandemaker. The kick came forward. Underneath that one, McGowan couldn't quite take control. The ball is across the line. And the kick came out of defence from David Eye, and he's certainly providing a little bit of run off the back lines for the Double Blues as well.
Lounder to do the ruck work. Took front position. Won the tap. It's well taken as Whittlesey now puts the ball in long. Brady from behind with the spoil. Plonk had 2 bites at it, couldn't control. Tries to barge his way through the pack, and that's holding the ball. Well, he tried to use his strength and he paid the penalty. The free kick will go the way of Brady. Buckley and Klomp have a little bit of slap and tickle there. Now, Brady drives in a long ball. Spoiled away by McCarthy. Here's a chance. Who's got all the pace? Thomas front position. Received an awkward bounce. Now Gurdam in there. Feeds it back towards Thomas. He kicked one from there earlier in the game. That's not kicked with quite the same accuracy. Just offline. So the Double Blues on 2 goals 1. The Dogs are on 5-3.
Greg Thomas started on the wing last week against Norwood. Late in the game, they shifted him to a roving position, and they thought he did such a good job. He opened up today's game as first rover. Reynolds, wobbly kick. Pryor took the mark, fed it off to Krieg, still working very hard. The left boot kick is a beauty. Oh, just over the head of Van Dommel, however. Smith tried to dispatch the handball. It didn't go too far. It was looking on that occasion for Peter Daish, but Semler, the umpire, says he'll need to have another bounce as the players sort themselves out yet again. Reynolds will do the ruck work, opposed to Keith Allen. Reynolds for the Double Blues got the tap down. Whittlesey's over the top of that. The ball sprung clear. Anderson, I think that was almost a throw. Greg Thomas just pulled out of that one. Daryl Smith, now Anderson, threw that one away also, but got a push in the back at the same time. And the umpires picked up a free kick, just as Jeff Robertson was going to have a shot for goal. Now Anderson wastes no time, plays on wide. Underneath that one, Van Dommel, and now 25 metres out, almost directly in front. Van Dommel has an opportunity of bringing up the Bulldogs' 6th goal. 1987 captain, Rene Van Dommel. Opened the season in fine style, but had a little bit of a slump mid-season. Now coming back to what looks like pretty good form. Lines up. Goal number 6 on the board for the Bulldogs. That's the way it heads. 6 goals, 3-39. The Double Blues, 2 goals, 13 points.
Well, it really is amazing. It must be very frustrating and disheartening to be a supporter of some of these lower sides. Last week, Central were absolutely awful against Norwood. They were beaten 21 goals 20 to 6 goals 10. Yet today they've looked $1 million. They've opened up in fine form. They've kicked 6-3-39 to Sturt's 2-1 in the first 25 minutes of this quarter. And gee, they certainly are a side that's very hard to follow.
The Cowboy Neil would agree with you. Reynolds and Bytheen. Reynolds got the tap down. Heinrich tried to feed off the handball. It was stolen by Van Dommel. He did that well. Out wide it goes. Pryor overran the ball. Now Brady an opportunity. Pryor butters up for a second opportunity. On the left boot he goes towards Graham, but underneath that one a good strong mark taken by Leo Darvaniza for the Double Blues. Darvaniza had Painter running wide. That's the way the ball heads now, looking for Reynolds and Bytheen. Bytheen interfered pretty strongly with Reynolds. Pretty crudely also. Free kick Reynolds. Centre wing position. The kick is long. Centre half forward. Underneath that one will be Klomp. From behind, the big thump away came from Buckley. Now Pryor conceding ground with the handball to Bubner, who goes long into space. Girdham's leading out underneath that ball, but first there is David I for the Double Blues. Back to McGowan. Now Downs. Left boot is wide. Moskeny. Good running mark. Moskeny plays on. Goes short. Wilmot on the lead, has the mark. Too far out to score, I think. Kicking into whatever breeze there is here this afternoon. Probably a 1 or 2 goal breeze. About 55 metres out from goal. Pretty confident. He lines them up. He'll lob the ball right in the goal square. Reynolds from behind took the fly, couldn't control it. Scott Lee over the top of it. Got a push in the back and the free kick. And comes up with the ball.
Been one of their more consistent players this year, Scott Lee. He certainly tries hard out there in defence. Now the ball put out wide. Greg Smith with a chance. Being well pressured. Oh, that was great play there by number 25 in Johnny Richter.
That was Daish, Kim.
Daish, in fact, 26, Peter Daish. Gee, I was impressed with him a couple of weeks ago. He came off the bench and showed a lot, but that was super desperate work. Great smother, great to watch. Now the ball fed out by Heinrich towards Reynolds. In there, Jeff Robertson weaves his way through the pack. He's got some class, Robertson, as he hugs the boundary line and drives that one in long. Up high, McCarthy. He got hands to ball, but he infringed. He pushed in the back. The free kick will go back to Keith Allen.
Up a little bit before acceptances, perhaps.
Allen now drives the ball in, looking for man to make her. It's 2 against 1. Oh, he's marked it! Oh, what a grab, Rudy. And have a look at David I. He's not happy. He reckons he touched that. So I think you'd have to pay that. That was a great mark. He was sandwiched then. Now he's increased the angle from where he's kicked his last 2 goals. And may have increased the distance marginally, but boy, gee, the way he's kicking him today, anything could happen. He's given that one a right. Now he's definitely pushed that one to the right. In fact, the ball just goes out of play. So Rudy's causing a big headache down there. And Central are looking pretty good. 6-3 plays 2-1, and we're well into time on.
Just going for the little bit of extra distance. Rudy pushed that one wide to the right. Keith Allen got the tap down. Darvaniza there now. Andrew Downs for the Double Blues. The kick is centred. Van Dommel underneath that one. Oh, courageous mark. In fact, the umpire's paid a push in the back. Either way, Van Dommel has the ball. Off it goes to Bytheen. He lines up the goals. The ball's heading that way. It's over the head of Peter Reid. Oh, the Bulldogs have got a beaut running goal. And even Peter Bytheen is showing a little bit of pace today.
Well, they can thank their captain, Rene Van Dommel, for that goal. That was super courageous work. He backed into the pack. He could have been paid either the mark or the free kick. He was given the free kick, played on intelligently. He didn't lie around down there on the ground, fed the ball out. It ended up with Bytheen, and he put in a magnificent long drop punt kick to post his side's 7th goal.
Bytheen goes back to have a run on the ball. He's pumping full of adrenaline after a goal like that. Reynolds down to ground. Heinrich stole the ball. Now the handball back. Smith got it off to Painter. Did that beautifully. Swept around on that left foot on a nice arc. Put it out to McGowan. Great one-hand mark on the run, McGowan. Long it goes, looking for Wilmot. First man there, Scott Lee, dispatches the handball. Buckley in trouble. Back to Lee, the quick kick under pressure, not well placed. And Smith almost took the free kick, but downfield there's a kick being picked out for a free kick after disposal. I think Scott Lee was put down rather crudely as he kicked that ball. There he is again, the man we're talking about, holding the ball. You win some, you lose some.
He was set up then. He didn't have much chance at all.
I think you're quite right. Centre field, it's Underwood. Well-built footballer, Underwood. You can see why Essendon have shown plenty of interest in that young man. Now Scott Field, as the siren sounds, to complete the first term here at Elizabeth Oval. The Bulldogs have done it pretty well. 7 goals, 3-45. The Double Blues 2 goals, 1. And after a magnificent victory last week, they're struggling today. Second term underway at Elizabeth Oval. The Bulldogs, after a great first term, lead by 32 points. The man that did the damage was Rudy Mandamaker with 3 goals. Greg Thomas, Stephen Anderson, the Rovers, also got 1 to be prominent. But Peter Krieg in the centre is the man that's doing most of the damage. Roger Girdham over the top of that ball for the Central District side, and they're showing a lot more desperation this afternoon. Cowboy Neil at quarter time indicated that he was pretty happy with his boys. Why wouldn't he be? They've only won 2 games in the last 14. They were against Benelg. Anderson shot off the handball. Van Dommel in turn to Greg Smith on the left boot. He goes short. Underneath this one, Greg Thomas. He got hit pretty solidly from behind by Peter Reid as he marked that ball. Now lines up for goal number 2. He'd only be 25 to 30 metres out, almost directly in front. He knows where the goals are, Greg Thomas, that's for sure. Former Norwood player, renowned for a dry weather specialist. Certainly conditions aren't that today. It's just slightly slippery at Elizabeth Oval. There's a breeze blowing from right to screen to left, favouring the Double Blues this term. Hence the reason that I think Thomas's kick didn't make the distance. It's a pretty stiff breeze out there right at the moment, and I think it's getting stronger by the minute.
Yes, it appears to have picked up. I'd say it'd be nearly a 3 to 4 goal breeze. So maybe that first term by the Blues wasn't quite as poor as what we first thought. Reid's kick is a long one. In fact, he nearly reaches the centre square. Reynolds couldn't control that. In there is Smith, Daryl Smith. He's tackled by Robertson. We'll have a bounce right on the centre half forward area.
Daryl Smith this afternoon's been playing as a ruck rover, loose in defence, certainly during that first term.
Well, Daryl Smith and Rene Van Dommel, the two of them had exceptionally good, in fact, shall I say, Peter Krieg had very good first quarters. Now the ball comes out to McGowan. He's shown a little bit too in that first term. Hooks that one round his body, puts it out towards Painter. In fact, Field gets there first. Couldn't control it, tried to feed it back towards Painter. Now he gathers up the crumbs. He really is a clever player, John Painter. Out towards Whittlesea. His kick's a wobbly one. Front position, Wilmot. Big spoil by Bubner. Scooped up there. Lovely pick up by Klobb. He chips away towards goal. It's an unprotected goal. Getting back there, Moschetti, but not in time as the ball runs over the line. So it's another minor score. That now moves the Blues along to 2 goals 2. Trailing Central 7-4.
Robert Klomp was certainly frustrated during that first term when the Double Blues defenders kept bringing the ball through centre half forward at all well. Oh, I'm talking about at all well. What about that? Jeff Robertson. The eyes say it all. Woeful kick from Robertson. Free kick to the Double Blues. Left half forward. And it'll be Chris McCown. No, it'll be Robert Klomp to take the free kick. Klomp goes short, no one home. Jeff Robertson drifts back underneath that one. Let's see where this kick goes. That's a better one. Long, looking out for Lee Adams. Underneath that, he couldn't take it. Over the top, Smith. Handballs it back. Now with the handball over the top, it goes Heinrich with space. He can't pick the ball up. He still can't pick the ball up. Now the handball goes out. Daish off to Smith. Gave himself a little bit of space. McGowan now an opportunity. The handball went in. Underneath that one, Underwood. Cleverly done, Brady. Intercepted the handball. Now he throws it out. Pryor. Long. Underneath that one, Michael Smith. Back to Philip Graham. Central District are trying to set something up. Keith Allen providing a little bit of space for himself. It's the first time he's got away from Tony McCarthy. Now Girdham runs into space. Almost ran himself into trouble. Places the ball beautifully. Greg Thomas, the handball over the top. Goal number 4 coming up for Rudy Mandamaker. And what beautiful football that was. The Bulldogs did did that beautifully.
Tremendous play, and that was great vision by Roger Gurdon as he centred that ball into Greg Thomas. An unselfish football. He drew the player, then popped it over the top to Big Rudy, and that allowed him to kick his 4th goal. And that was great football to watch by the Dogs. They now move on to 8 goals for 52, and a handy goal into the breeze, leading the Blues 2-2.
Four minutes gone, second quarter, and there's the breeze. Pretty tattered old Ansett windsock too, if you're listening, Ansett. Let's get a new one out to the Elizabeth Oval. Lounder with the thump down. Over the top of it, Robertson, he threw that one away. The umpire didn't pick it up. Krieg did, however, and got away the kick. Tony McCarthy had to mark it centre half back for the Double Blues. Off it goes to Downs, playing out of a back pocket and doing it pretty well. Dace couldn't take it. Painter was held with not in possession. The umpire agrees. Free kick to Johnny Painter, who's starting to work himself right into this game. Holds the ball until he can find a man to kick to. On the lead, Scotty Field. Now Pryor, an opportunity, playing a great game in defence for the Bulldogs. The kick is short, well put, however. Mike Smith, an opportunity, almost ran himself into trouble. The handball goes out wide to Scott Lee. Scott Lee goes short. Vandermaker's on the lead, bit too short, however. Now an opportunity in defence for Richter. Shorty goes to Eye. David Eye from left half back brings the ball towards centre half back. Painter in space, has the mark. Holds play until he can find a man. Reynolds is on the lead. Painter elects, however, to go short. Heinrich into space. He still can't control that ball. He was hit high for his trouble. He's lucky to have picked up the free kick. It was a pretty soft one to boot.
Very lucky. Should have taken that one first grab. Now he plays on, or he puts Richter under a little bit of pressure. Now the ball comes out towards Downs. Downs' kick is long, looking for Field. He couldn't control it. Offhand by McGowan. He looks a pretty handy type of customer. Gets the quick feed out towards Whittlesey and 10 onto the running Painter. He kicked 5 last week and he kicked 1 today. Great left foot kick. His first goal, so Sturt move on to 3-2, trailing the Dogs 8-4, and we've had 7.5 minutes of this second term.
That goal was set up beautifully by Chris McGowan. Provided the space for Whittlesey to move into. The handball went long, and good vision from Whittlesey. There's the two partners in crime, Greg Whittlesey and John Pater. Probably two of the better Double Blues players this season. Two of their more consistent players at any rate, and Painter banged through a beauty.
Back in the centre, it'll be Lounder opposed to Reynolds. Two of the league's most promising young ruckmen. This time it's Lounder with the tap. He roved it himself, did it well. The kick was smothered though by Dace. Graham with a chance, taken by Lounder again. Great feed out to Robertson. That was superb football. His kick is high. One-on-one, Rudy tried to take a one-hander. Reed on top of the ball, being harassed by Vandermaker. We'll have a stalemate situation, only about 20 metres out from the Dog goal.
Well, I think the reason Rudy had to take a one-hander is that Reed was holding the other one.
It makes it difficult. The tap down there by Allen. Now Graham with an opportunity, being pressured by Eye, and that looked to be a push in the back. Play on the call. In there is Darvanese. Krieg, a little bit quieter in this second term, and eventually Darryl Schramm to bounce the ball again.
Yeah, well, Krieg's first term was a ripper. Certainly provided plenty of run, plenty of attacking options for the Bulldogs.
Still amazed how he wasn't in that side earlier in the season. That's another story.
Certainly back in form now. Andrew Downs with the kick away. Didn't go too far, however. Rene Van Dommel off the ground, Robertson. Darryl Smith out to David Eye. Into space he goes. Not sure whether the kick or handball. Finally the handball to Heinrich, who slips over at the crucial time. Recovers. Kick away. Wide. Painter. First there for the Double Blues. Running backwards, trying to find an option. Finally it's Heinrich, the runner. Daesh back to Heinrich. In the 1-2, long into the forward zone. No one home for the Double Blues, however. Pryor first there. Central District Vice Captain gets it off to Buckley on the left boot. It goes. Painter launches himself at that one and took a pretty comfortable mark in the finish. Now the handball off Darvanese to Smith. In turn it goes to Eye. They're running in waves. The Double Blues short it goes. Scotty Field at half forward with the mark. Still moving in the forward zone. Wilmot sets off on the lead. That's the way he goes. Short. Klomp intercepts. Oh, crisscrossing of players there. Klomp in front of Wilmot. They nearly ran themselves into trouble.
So that would have been a mighty clash too. Two of the heavyweights at the Sturt side.
In terms of talent, I'm sure. Klomp, 45 metres out directly in front. He kicked the ground. Not good work, pretty experienced player. You wouldn't often see that. Now Moskeni an opportunity, snaps at goal, chips it in nicely, right through the middle, as easy as you like. 2 goals to Moskeni, 4 to the Double Blues. They go on to 4 goals 2, trailing the Bulldogs 8 goals 4.
Well, luck's a fortune, because it was an atrocious kick by Klomp. The ball eventually ended up with Moskeni, went one way then the other and popped through his second goal. So they're just keeping in touch, the Double Blues. They're on 4-2-26, trailing the Dogs 8-4-52. And we're right on 10 minutes in this second term.
The Double Blues trail by 32 points. The quarter time, they're now only 26 points down, so they've picked up a goal. They have whatever breeze there is here at Elizabeth Oval. Daish tried to burst his way through, couldn't do so. Robertson, the quick kick away. Good mark taken by Lee Adams, first game player. He's been pretty impressive in his attack on the ball. He doesn't shirk the issue. Wide it goes, Graham. Well shepherded on that occasion by Gurdon. Off goes Graham. Short. Underneath that one, Allen. He couldn't take the mark. At the back, it was Richter. The handball across the top to Smith. There's 3 Smiths playing out there. That's Darryl Smith for the Double Blues. Greg Smith and Mike Smith, of course, playing for the Bulldogs. Now Klomp. His direct opponent, Brady. Tripped by Whittlesey. Still dispatched the handball. Krieg. Back it goes, Pryor. And turn to Scott Lee. Handball out to Anderson. In trouble, Anderson. Was good enough to get out of it. No, he wasn't. Holding the ball, and Jesus, that's red hot.
Oh, I can't believe that.
Well, off go the Double Blues into attack. Painter, well dispatched kick, and Painter has the mark at half forward. Yeah, and you can't work out some of those free kicks. Now Painter out on the lead. Moskeni short of that player. From behind it's Buckley out of defence. Well put to Van Dommel. Now the runners get going. It's Gurdon. Off to Anderson. In trouble. Still gets away the kick. Forward he goes. Underneath that one, Greg Thomas having a pretty good game. Daish got it back. Downs wide. Smith picking up a poultice of kicks wide. Cowboy Neil must be wondering who's picking up Smith. Kick is well put. Heinrich underneath that one. Couldn't quite control the ball. He's having a dose of the fumbles today. Certainly uncharacteristic of Peter Heinrich, that's for sure. Now Jeff Robertson heads for the safety of the boundary line. It doesn't quite get there. Yes, it does.
No, it doesn't.
No, it doesn't. The field umpire said there's a free kick. It appears to be going the way of Rene Van Dommel. No, Mark Pryor. Pryor with the ball, half back. Puts it long. Graham from behind. Tried to claim the mark. The umpire's given it to him.
Philip Graham takes off quickly. He centres that ball to the centre half forward position, but the mark's been taken by Tony McCarthy. McCarthy has a good look, assesses the situation, then kicks back to the outer side. Backing under that was Jeff Robertson. He couldn't take the mark. Heinrich with the quick feed. Out towards that appeared to be Daish. The ball goes over the head of Moskeni. Back there is Bubner. Wilmot in late. Now the ball comes over to Pryor. He's well tackled. The ball dribbles out towards Krieg, but a free kick's been picked out for pushing the back towards Pryor.
And a 15-metre penalty. Klomp kicked the ball towards the boundary line. Umpire Schramm was right on the job, and he awarded a 15-metre penalty.
This has given time for Big Lounder to drop down back and give Pryor something to kick to. Decides to ignore the lead by Lounder and kicks out wide looking for Allen. Allen was up high but couldn't take the mark. McCarthy stayed down and he's won out in this battle. Now he executes that ball out in the direction of Whittlesey. He's just missed his target. This allows Buckley to come through and force that ball over the line. We'll have a throw in on the outer side at the 14-minute mark of this second term. 52 plays 26.
Pretty solid defender, David Buckley. He doesn't let too much get past him, that's for sure. Reynolds and Lounder at it again. Nobody won that tap. Down it goes to ground. Moskeni couldn't control it, and again it's across the line. And again we'll have a throw in by the boundary umpire. Take 2. Lounder. Reynolds takes front position. From behind it was Brady who put the ball down. Now an opportunity for Field. He dispatched the handball. Moskeni overran the ball. Now an opportunity for Scott Lee. The left boot wide. Underneath that one, Pryor playing well. Now runs to space. Kicked into the back of Whittlesey. That wasn't too well placed. Robertson picks the ball up, puts it into space. No one home for the Central District side. Andrew Downs for the Double Blues, and Downs has an easy mark. Through the centre it goes. Lee Adams courageously. He's taken a good mark. Former Madden boy has been pretty impressive in what he's done today. Hasn't had a lot of kicks, but he certainly shows a bit of promise.
Adams kicks to the forward flank area. The free kick's been picked out there, and it will go the way of Leo Darvaniza. Darvaniza on the half-back flank for the Double Blues, decides to kick down the middle of the ground looking for Klom. Brady up high from behind, taken off hands by Day. She drives that one in long. It's one-on-one, Bubner and Wilmot. The spoil by Bubner. Scott Lee picks up the crumbs, loses his footing. No, in fact, Scott Field, should I say. And what a great Rovers goal. That's his second goal for the day. Great balance. He lost his footing, steadied and put in a long goal from about 45, 50 metres out. So Sturt just clawing their way back into this game. They've kicked 5-2 to Central's 8-4.
Field's second goal came at a crucial stage. They were 26 points down. That goal now gives them an opportunity to be only 20 points down, but they've still got their work cut out for them. 15 minutes gone. There'll probably only be another 12, 13 minutes of this quarter, and the breeze has dropped a slight.
Semler with the ball in the middle of the field. Reynolds and Lounder to do the ruck work. Lounder with a big tap straight down to Smith. He's had a good game. Kick around his body, finds Klom. Blues just starting to come alive. Oh, that was great desperate play by Brady, and he's won a free kick as well. Well, it could have been a promising attack for the Blues. Just coming unstuck due to some quick thinking by Craig Brady. Back into the seniors this week. His kick is long, and oh, great mark there by Keith Adams. Plays on quickly out to Van Dommel. His kick, he drops it in nicely, and it finds Greg Thomas. So Thomas causing a few problems for the Double Blue defence. Already has one goal, and he's set up a number of others. Thought about going short to Anderson. Not a particularly long kick. This time he drops in a short one, and that's very loose checking by the Sturt side as Michael Smith drifted down. About 35 metres out. Dragged that one across his body, so it's another minor score. And the Bulldogs move on to 8-5. Leading Sturt 5-2.
Reid will bring the ball back into play for the Double Blues. It's a long kick underneath that one. Downs, 2 grabs. He's been paid. So they're playing some pretty easy free kicks and certainly some pretty easy marks. Taken there, he earned that one. Whittlesey took the fly. Now to centre half forward he goes. Clomps underneath that one, so too Wilmot. They're the only 2 players that didn't fly. Buckley did. He came down with the ball. Robertson wide. Sun streaming down now, just coming out to dry out the Elizabeth Oval as Robertson goes long. Brady down from centre half back, dives at the ball, and he's got it. That was a pretty good mark, Brady. He made plenty of ground to make that one. And now at the outer wing he has a kick towards half forward. Graham from behind Darvaniza. Darvaniza took out of Rene Van Dommel. I was going to say the Central District player, but it was Van Dommel. In doing so, he gave away a free kick. Van Dommel has Rudy Mandamaker on the lead. Rudy's got it from behind. Well, the Double Blues player had a hand to the front of that. Rudy came from behind, grabbed the ball and claimed it. And the umpire has paid the mark.
Oh, Rudy just plucked that one off the top. I think possibly David I did have his hands on that one first. With strong hands by Mandamaker.
Rudy Mandamaker already has 4 goals, 3 kicked in that first term. 1 at the 4-minute mark of this term. In fact, he's kicked the Bulldogs' only goal this quarter into the breeze. Lines them up. It's coming around. The goal umpire says it's good. 2 goals this term to Rudy Mandamaker. That gives him 5 for the game. In a lone hand up forward for the Bulldogs, he's destroying the Double Blues.
Well, he certainly is a confident player nowadays, Mandamaker. He's had a great season. And, gee, he came from behind. He didn't look like he was going to arrive there in time. I'm pretty sure that I had his hands on that ball first, but Mandamaker with superior height and strength just plucked that one out of his hands. And it looked pretty convincing from here.
Now there's a free kick picked out. Too many Double Blues players in the square. Bytheme with the kick to half forward over the head of Keith Allen. Now Allen picks up the ball. On the left boot he goes. Greg Thomas underneath that one, but a good mark taken back there to John Richter. Former Sturt under-19 captain. Guernsey ripped. The kick is long. Out of defence it goes. Reynolds underneath that one at the front of the pack. Bytheme. Bything tried to claim the mark. The umpire didn't agree with him on that occasion. Now Robertson paddles the ball across the line, out of play. 17.5, in fact 18 minutes gone second term. 59 plays 32. It's the Bulldogs by 27 points.
Reynolds to contest the ruck work with Bything. Bything eventually takes front position. Tap that down to Robertson. He tried with a quick handball. It was unsuccessful. Players working desperately there on the outer side. We'll have another bounce. Sturt with 4 wins this year. The Bulldogs with 5. So it's been disappointing seasons for both sides. A kick around the body there by Peter Date. And the mark's been taken by Underwood. Approaching the 20-minute mark of this second term. 59 plays 32 with the Dogs are in front. Brady punches that one away. Greg Smith taps the ball towards the boundary line. And this game hasn't produced a lot of bite yet, but I would suggest if the Blues were to get a couple more goals, the crowd on the Bulldog side would certainly liven up.
Well, the Double Blues have the breeze. They need to use it a little better than what they are currently. Anderson for the Central District side picks it up. Short. Krieg. Courageous mark. He's been a pretty good player today, Krieg. His first term in particular was very, very good. Helped us set up a pretty handy 32-point lead at quarter time for the Central District side. Short to Anderson. Getting a bit of pressure from Underwood. Now wide on the left boot. Bything underneath that one. The big fella. Kick short. Krieg through half forward. Gathers in the ball. Tried to sell the dummy. Finally dispatched the handball a little bit too late. Gee, the umpires are quick today.
You've got to be joking. Like, that's just ridiculous, that is.
The Double Blues out of defence. Oh, there's a good mark taken back there to Scott Lee. The umpires call play on. Well, work that out. Now an opportunity for Underwood. So no mark back there to Scott Lee. From behind Pryor, claim that as a mark. Smith over the head of Van Dommel, who recovers in time. Now gets away the handball. Bything through centre. Goes long with a drop punt kick. Graham punches the ball down. An opportunity for Darveneser under pressure. Well done, Greg Thomas. Darveneser holding the ball.
I am lost for words. I am absolutely lost for words.
Well, the one thing we do need to say, Kim, is they have been consistent. They've been red hot on it all day, but at least they've been consistent.
I'll grant them that they've been consistent, but by jingos, like, you've got to have some time to get rid of the ball. As Gurdon punches that one, it's just offline. I can't believe some of these decisions. Like, you might as well not try and win the ball. It's not worth taking possession, the way they're umpiring today, and I know it's easy to be critical, but I haven't seen anything like this before.
Well, we saw umpire Semler and Schramm last week at Thebarton Oval. Port Adelaide versus West Torrens, and there was certainly some criticism come out of that game. Oh, what a mark. Robertson did that so easily. Half forward after a great mark. Jeff Robertson too far out to score, looking for Rudy Mandamaker on the lead. Now he changes direction in the pocket. Underneath that one, Michael Smith, the former East Perth player. We haven't seen much of him to date. Has the mark. It's about 25 to 30 metres out. The angle very acute, hugging the boundary line, as you can see. Into the breeze. It'll need to be a magnificent kick to score from there. It's coming around. Mandamaker at the front of the pack almost took the mark off hands and across the line for a throw in. 22.5 minutes gone. Second term, Elizabeth Oval. 60 plays 32. 28 points to lead, and the Bulldogs have it.
McCarthy to do the ruck work against Keith Allen. Ball comes to ground. It's been well snared by Philip Graham. He has a snapshot and it's banged it through the middle. That's his first goal. So the Bulldogs move on to 10 goals 6 after a great piece of roving by Graham. Leading Sturt on 5 goals 2.
3 goals apiece this quarter to both sides. The Double Blues had the initiative earlier, but Rudy Mandamaker's goal at the 17-minute mark, and now one from Philip Graham, has got them back on the board. So they're currently enjoying a pretty handy 34-point lead. They've increased their quarter-time lead by a couple of points.
Centre field would be Reynolds opposed to Bything. The Blues need to get one out of the centre pretty quickly. Up high, it's Reynolds with a tap out in the direction of McGowan, but it's been stolen by Greg Thomas. He held back on that kick and found Pryor. That was clever football. Pryor pushes this one out wide towards Smith. Michael Smith. Also looking for a feat at 15 metres. He wins that. Not a lot of movement up forward. In fact, another 15 metres. David Eye not getting back on the mark quick enough. Downs got a hand to the ball. Mandamaker back there. But eventually the ball is forced over the line and we'll have a throw in that right forward pocket for the Dogs.
Certainly need someone to stitch up that jumper. McCarthy in front position. There he is. He's coming unstuck. Johnny Richter. Philip Graham. From behind Underwood. Pretty solid work. Thumps the ball out of play. Throw in again. 21 is Reid. Has the job of minding Rudy Mandamaker today. He's had a nightmare already. Mandamaker has 5. McCarthy got the tap down. Smith tried to burst his way through. Couldn't do so. Scott Field now comes out with the ball. Gets off a handball. Too high that one, surely. Free kick to Greg Whittlesey. Whittlesey goes long, looking for Reynolds. Bytheen and Reynolds are at it. Bytheen, good mark. Great work, the big fella. Used his body well. Now Shorty goes over the head on that occasion of Mike Smith. So one good bit of work offset by one bit of bad work. Andrew Underwood at half-back with the free kick. Goes short. Scott Field has the mark. Look to play on now, does so. Direct through half forward. Klomp and Brady underneath that one. From behind Greg Smith. Painter stole it. Dispatched the handball. Now Moskini. Now Greg Smith. Left boot is wide. Greg Thomas runs into space. He seems to be able to have the ability to be where nobody else is. Now Greg Thomas. A couple of bounces down the outer. Goes short. Underneath that one, Anderson. A little wide for that player and out of play. So a promising attack goes begging for the Bulldogs.
We've just hit time on in this second term. 10-6-66, plays 5-2-32. Breeze favouring the northern end. Probably only about a 2 to 3 goal breeze at this stage. The Bulldogs have certainly played the better football in this first half here at Elizabeth Oval. McCarthy to do the ruck work, managed to tap the ball down towards Field. He kicks around his body. Out there is Kim Russell, who's now onto the ground, but it's Jeff Robertson who taps the ball over the boundary line. And we'll have another throw in on that outer side.
Jeff Robertson has been very prominent today. Took a couple of very good marks earlier in the game. Keith Allen, 39, opposed to McCarthy, number 2. Allen steals the ball, gets away the kick. Did that pretty well, the youngster. Anderson, off it goes Girdham, slick work. Girdham goes on the left boot short, intercepting McGowan. Now Girdham an opportunity again. Free kick, he's won himself one for good desperate work. Now plays on, around the body, snap at goal. Graham's there. Thump away from Downs. Now Rudy Mandamaker over the top of it. He tries to get away the handball, couldn't. Now an opportunity there for Daesh, who would say we're not in possession. Greg Thomas comes through, the handball off. David Eye short. Rudy Mandamaker another opportunity. He keeps the ball in play, did that pretty well. Now he doesn't keep it in play. The boundary umpire says he'll need to have a throw in. What's the boundary umpire out there? It's Wayne Turner. Brings the ball back into play. Allen shoveled McCarthy off. Mike Smith goes over the top. He was looking for Greg Thomas. Girdham's first there. No free kick on that occasion. Ball comes out to Field. He goes wide. Robertson intercepts. Came out of it almost. Now an opportunity for Krieg. Tackled too high. No, holding the ball. Kim Russell with a free kick. Fresh legs. Not a good kick, however. Allen with the mark and the handball. Off it goes. Greg Thomas. Wider still. Anderson into space. Spoiled by McCarthy. David and Goliath go at it. On that occasion, Goliath won. No, he didn't, because little David won himself a free kick for being held but not in possession. I think it was against John Richter. So Anderson, the free kick, half forward. Rudy Mandamaker in the square. Robertson streaming down with the lead. The ball heads towards Rudy Mandamaker from behind Reid. Thumped it away. Allen picks up the ball, snaps it, goal. It's a beauty. Good reflex stuff to Graham Allen. Keith Allen. Keith Allen has his first up for the day.
Well, that's a great goal by Keith Allen. He showed a very cool head there under a pressure situation. Just managed to trap that ball and swing around and bang it onto the right boot. It went straight through the middle, and Keith Allen's a player that's come up through the juniors here at Central, and he looks a pretty likely type. So Central looking pretty comfortable at the moment on 11-6, leading Sturt 5-2.
40 points now the margin. The Bulldogs, kicking into the teeth of the breeze, have added to their quarter-time lead of 32 points. Bything got the ball to ground. Rowe over the top of it, so too Smith. Now Klomp finally comes out with the ball. Held it well. Brady smothered. And Brady certainly had the better of Klomp today. Off half back he goes into the forward zone. Philip Graham from behind took the fly but couldn't bring the ball down. Now Daryl Smith conceding ground. McCarthy long looking for Russell. Back there's Jeff Robertson for the Bulldogs, and Robertson has the mark.
Been in pretty good touch, Robertson. Taking plenty of time. There's not a lot of movement. Gurdon provides a lead. Robertson decides to use it and finds that player. On the outer side, the siren. First half here at Elizabeth Oval and at Central District on 11 goals, 672, leading Sturt 5-2-32. Second half at Elizabeth Oval, and it's the Bulldogs by 40 points. And we've been informed that John Richter will now be wearing number 18 for Sturt after having his Guernsey ripped in that second term as Painter. Feeds over a well-educated handball to McGowan. Now on to Russell. Russell in turn to Whittlesea. This is better football by the Blues. He drives in long. It's one-on-one. Bubner and Wilmot. That's a great mark by Peter Bubner. Superior height. He also had front position. Kicks back to the outer side looking for Lounder. He couldn't control it. That mark's been paid. Oh, I can't believe it. Look, honestly, a one-eyed budgie with a squint could be seeing these decisions better than they are at the moment. It's incredible. That's a wobbly kick.
You'll make the paper with that one for sure, Kim, as McGowan tried to keep the ball in play. Where do you keep coming up with these sayings?
Well, just pulling them from everywhere. I just can't believe some of these decisions today.
Well, of course, Des Foster, there he is, just in screen. In the jacket there, watching today's game, so he'll be taking note of the umpire's performance, no doubt about that. The umpires this afternoon, Darryl Schramm and Stephen Semler, and the crowd haven't been too pleased with them, I can tell you that. I certainly tend to think there have been some very soft free kicks, but at least they've been consistent all day. We can at least give them that. Russell out with the handball. Daryl Smith for the Double Blues. The Double Blues seem to have a little bit more emphasis in their commitment. Wilmot on the left boot, snaps around the corner, hit the point post, out of bounds on the full. But they just appear to me to have picked up their tempo a mite.
11-6-72, plays 5-2-32. The free kick to be taken by Scott Lee. A rugged Bulldog defender. He tries a screw punt. It's not a bad kick either. Gets plenty of distance. Bubner up high, off hands there. Trying to take that ball was Lee Adams. Players working very hard on the bottom of the pack, but it'll be umpire Steve Semler to ball up on the outer side.
Lee Adams, of course, playing in his first league game for the Bulldogs. That's him thumping the ball down. McGowan picked it up for the Double Blues. It was a wobbly kick into the forward zone. Bubner dropped that ball. It was almost a chest mark, and across the line goes the ball. Getting back to Lee Adams, former Manham boy. Been pretty impressed with his commitment this afternoon. Back into play, Brady and Klomp. Brady from behind got the thump down. Over the top of it, Brady. Fighting hard for the ball also is Moskeni. An umpire, Steve Semler, said he'll need to take the ball and put it to ground. Another ball up will take place. Brady and Klomp again. This time it's Klomp from behind who got the ball to ground. Off the ground, Greg Smith. Now Greg Whittlesea, the handball off. Painter, Russell. Russell dispatches the handball onto McGowan. McGowan's a natural left footer. He has a shot at goal. It's coming across the face of goal, however. Scott Lee first there. Thumps it forward. Good defensive work. Now an opportunity for Wilmot. He can't control the ball. Now he does. Scott Lee off the ground. Did that cleverly. An educated kick towards the boundary line, and it's out of play just at centre wing in front of the player interchange gates.
Well, intelligent defensive play by Scott Lee. First the thump forward, then the cycle out off the ground, managing to clear that ball from the danger zone. Now it's on the half-forward flank grandstand side. Lounder with superior body strength, but Big Reynolds holding on to him then has conceded a free kick, so Lounder takes the kick. It's a high ball. Graham front position. Darvanese from behind. Picked up by Keith Allen. Now put forward by McCarthy. Clean bowls Reynolds. Smith over the top of it, can't control it. He should be used to these slippery conditions. We had quite a deal of rain over the half-time break. Picked up by Dace, he's in trouble. He gets the handle out the clock, trying to bowl his way through. Now they're towing the ball, and that's a better decision.
There was no doubt about that. Clomp had no opportunity of dispatching the handball. It was a great tackle applied by Van Dommel and Brady. Brady gets off the handball now. Van Dommel the kick, Lown to the mark. They're combining pretty well, the Bulldogs today. Now Lounder, just you'll need to be careful, he'll give away that ball. No, he doesn't. It's a 15-metre penalty against Underwood. Semler's the man on the spot. Lounder has the ball. Deep in the forward zone it goes. Allen is up in front of McCarthy. It's over both players' head. Now Richter playing in that number 18 Guernsey. He started the game in 25. Off it goes. Daryl Smith forward. Clomp underneath that one. Brady from behind thumps it away. Off the ground Scott Lee. Another good defensive kick to touch. And out of play at centre wing again. Scott Lee's game last week was very, very good against Norwood. In fact, he picked up almost 30 possessions, and he's well on the way of doing that again today.
Lounder front position, won the tap. And once again, he wins a free kick. Reynolds holding his arm. So he's just being frustrated by the strength and height of Lounder at the moment. Ball comes in long, and that's a good mark taken again by McCarthy. It's been solid. He really is an honest performer, Tony McCarthy. Out to Darvanese. He goes across ground. Out there is McGowan. Now Russell with the feed over towards Painter. Back towards Downs. Downs holds back on that kick. Sits it up there looking for Field. He couldn't take the mark. Back of the pack is Bubner. Bubner manages to clear. It's a long floating kick. It's been picked up by Richter. Richter around his body. In fact, it's not. It is.
Daesh.
The rain coming down quite heavily here at Elizabeth Oval. One-on-one, Russell out there. Taps the ball forward, but he's given away a free kick, and it will go the way of Buckley.
The Bulldogs enjoy a 40-point lead, and that's not good news for the Double Blues, as rain coming down heavily at Elizabeth Oval will make the Sturt side's job of getting back into this game that much more difficult. Lounder underneath that one again in front of Reynolds. Two big fellows have had an entertaining duel today. Lounder certainly has won the honours. Rene Van Dommel front of screen just pointing out where the players should be. Lounder got it down. Van Dommel took the ball, the handball back. Whittlesey stole it and punched it forward with a good kick. Moskeny first there for the ball. Buckley, the defender, across the line. Moskeny's calling for out of bounds off the full. That's the way the boundary umpires call it. So Moskeny was right on the ball. He's won himself a free kick. Towards full forward he goes. Clomp. At the front it's Underwood. Oh, good mark. Underwood. He drifted in, held ground. Just seemed to hold his position in the air for just that moment to take a good mark in front of the pack. And now 30 metres out, directly in front. An opportunity of scoring his first goal. Underwood scored 2 goals last week against West Adelaide, playing as a ruck rover. Filling that role again today. Lining up for his first opportunity at goal. It kicks on its way. Offline, however, and through for one behind. The Double Blues advance by 1 point. They go to 5 goals, 3-33. Trailing the Central District side 11 goals, 6-72.
8 minutes gone of this third term. Neither side yet to kick a goal. Buckley there being well pressured. Heinrich trying to get the ball out. Managed to feed it out towards Russell. He received a high tackle. Play on advantage. He got the ball over to Underwood. This one goes across the face of goal. Just manages to stay in play. Bubner there. Wins out in the battle against Wilmot. Now manages to feed it over towards Prone. The Dogs run out of a defence. It's a well-educated kick, and it finds a running player in Greg Thomas. Thomas thought about the handball. Now he gets that ball off towards Adams. Adams in turn back to Thomas. Great running football by the Dogs around his body. Now the feed comes back towards Krieg. Krieg chips in a short pass. In fact, that was Gurdon that fed that one, not Krieg. That was good football. Great possession play. The Dogs took the ball from one end of the ground down to Big Rudy. And here's an opportunity. The kick is 6th goal from about 45 metres out. Magnificent kick of the football. Gee, really has been on target today. A great goal to Rudy Mandermaker. Good football to Central. They now move on to 12-6, leading the Blues 5-3, who are in more trouble than the early settlers.
No doubt about that. 6 goals to Rudy Mandermaker. He's only had, I think, 7 kicks, so it's a pretty good effort from the big full forward. The Double Blues gave Peter Reid the job of picking him up, and they've still got Reid on him, but Rudy has already been a match winner.
And it's really starting to team down here now at Elizabeth Oval. You can see in the background there, right up in those foothills, starting to come down quite heavily. It's going to be pretty slippery out there as Kim Russell tries to get a handball out. Now it's taken by Krieg. It finds the waiting arms of Philip Graham. He was well tackled. Back to Van Dommel, back to Krieg, and out to Rudy. Oh, no, he stole it. Greg Thomas chipped in when he shouldn't have. Now Gurdon picks up the crumbs. He's flanked by Krieg. Doesn't use that player. The kick is long and has been punched over the line by Tony McCarthy. Another minor score. The Dogs now 12-6. The Blues 5 goals 3. 12-7 in fact.
Well, a trivial statistic, but that's the first point that the Double Blues defence has conceded. Van Dommel over to Gurdon. Gurdon can line up the goals on this occasion. He does. The ball's coming around. It's through. What a great goal to Gurdon. The Central District side certainly have been on fire today, and no goal has been better than that.
Well, that's Gurdon's first goal. So after Sturt having all the play in the opening minutes, it's the Bulldogs who have bounced back to kick 2 quick ones, and that was a great goal to the young fella in Roger Gurdon, and he's looked pretty smart today. We've had 10 minutes of this third term. 13-7 plays 5-3.
52 points now, the margin. Central District certainly have this game sewn up. Cowboy Neil would be very pleased to be back on the winners list at the end of today's game. Double Blues had the opportunity of running one up the ladder with today's game. They had a better percentage than the Bulldogs, but one less win. Lounder feeds off the ball. Greg Smith off to Krieg. Krieg providing plenty of run through the centre of the field. Rudy's out in front of, on that occasion, Downs. Now off the ground, Gurdon. It's wide of the mark, however. It won't go out of play. First there will be Peter Daish. No, Leo Darvanese, in fact, it is. He's quite content to carry the ball across the line and out of play.
.32-point advantage to the Dogs. The ball now about 15-20 metres around from their goal. Robertson from behind, he tapped it straight down to Darvanese. He gets a clearing kick away, straight out to the Dog captain Van Dommel. Had a fumble, managed to get ball to boot, and the mark's been taken by Smith. Michael Smith, former East Perth player. He might struggle with the distance here. Ball might just be getting a little bit heavy. This rain, certainly be slippery. He's given it a ride though. In fact, the distance wasn't a problem, it's just the accuracy. So the Dogs move on to 13 goals 8. The Blues lamenting on 5-3.
That's Michael Smith's first score of the afternoon, playing off a half-forward flank. Hasn't been a damaging player for the Bulldogs. As Downs brings the ball back into play. Robinson flew high but couldn't take it. Anderson off the ground, it ricocheted back. Picked up and turned by Smith. Pushed forward on that occasion by Adams. Wide. Oh, Darryl Smith stole the ball. The umpire was having none of that. The ball must come back to Van Dommel. Van Dommel at left half forward. Too far out to score. He'll push the ball deep into the forward zone, looking for Rudy Mandermaker, I'm sure. That's the way he heads. Big Rudy's underneath that one. The front of the pack was Downs, who got hand to ball but couldn't take it. Whittlesey was pushed off the ball and has won himself a free kick. Condition starting to slow players down. There's a few players starting to slip and slide. McGowan underneath that one. Adams had his jumper held. No free kick. Play on called the umpire. Now Richter tried to feed off the handball. Stolen. The Bulldogs back into attack. Krieg looking for Philip Graham over that player's head. The back of it, Whittlesey. The kick under pressure goes wide. No one home. Painter, the first man there. Jeff Allen. Now Smith. Off to Lee Adams. Been pretty impressive in his debut game. Krieg. So the Bulldog players have got plenty of men running loose. Sturt defence has been shell-shocked, and there's another one loose, Jeffrey Robertson. Robertson hasn't got a goal to date. Would be 45 metres out with a heavy ball. He's a good kick of a ball normally, though. That one short of the mark. Downs thumps it down. And there's a head-high tackle for sure. It is. Greg Thomas is the man. Will pick up the free kick. Thomas already has one goal too. you'd almost count this one. He knows where the goals are. He's a pretty useful kick at goal.
Both ends of the ground, aren't they? The goals.
Yes. Greg Thomas. 1 goal in the first term. Lines up for goal number 2. No mistake about that one. Right through the middle it goes. 2 goals to Thomas. 14 goals, 8 the Bulldogs. 5 goals, 3 the Double Blues.
Well, Thomas kicked one in the first term, and he made the correct position for a rover. He was at the front of the pack, first to the ball, and it was Downs that came through with a high tackle. It was a blatant free kick, and Greg Thomas made no mistake from only about 15 metres out. He's kicked 2 goals now. The Dogs move on their merry way to 14 goals, 8.92, giving Sturt an absolute hiding here at Elizabeth Oval, 5-3 to 33.
59 points now the margin. The Bulldogs well in control. Lounder in ruck, opposed to Reynolds. On this occasion, Lounder gets the ball down again. Stolen by Field. He tried to weave his way through the mud. Couldn't do so, but in doing that, he's received a free kick for being tackled too high. Now plays on. Puts the heavy ball into Klomp at centre half forward. He can't control the ball, now does. Off it goes to Dace, who looked to handball off. Pryor intercepted it, got it off to Brady and turned to Robertson. The Bulldogs are out of defence. Anderson now an opportunity. Almost sold the dummy, run himself into plenty of trouble. Off to Robertson. Not well placed. Underwood, free kick. Underwood just put Krieg to ground. Won himself a 15-metre penalty. Not sure that there was much in that. Underwood from centre half forward. Put in a long bomb to the forward zone. Klomp underneath that one at the back of the pack. It was Heinrich. There's been a free kick picked out, and it's going the way of Peter Bubner for a push in the back.
Bubner's been quite steady in defence today. He's played a good game. This time he kicks the grandstand side, looking for the high to Robertson, and it pays off. It's a good mark. Now the feed out towards Scott Lee. He chips out a little left foot pass, and it just keeps it in play, and it's taken by Alan Smith. Michael Smith, should I say. Smith centres the ball. Oh, Krieg up high, and that's a beautiful mark. Front position. And it should be 15 metres, not paid, as Underwood returned that ball very high. Short pass. Taken there by Lee Adams. First game player. Puts out this one, looking for Mandamaker. Oh, right on his chest. It was a beautiful pass by Adams. And look at Big Rudy in there working hard to make up for that mistake, and he's done just that. He got the ball out to Anderson. Anderson in turn to Girdham. Girdham's had a pretty useful game today. Looking for 15 metres. Umpire Schramm tells I to move out the way. Girdham decides to drop one short and finds Robertson. He should be able to make the distance. As mentioned previously, he is a good kick normally. Meanwhile, Lounder off and Bything back on. Robertson taking quite a deal of time. He's given that kick a real ride. It's paid off. It's a magnificent kick. A great goal to Jeff Robertson. He's posted his first goal as Mandamaker and Downs just getting involved in a little bit of byplay back there. Looks like they've made up now. The Dogs now move on to 15 goals, 8.98. Sturt 5-3-33, getting an absolute caning.
4 goals this term to the Bulldogs. The Double Blues haven't been able to jag one at all. They were kicking into what was a breeze, but with the rain at half-time, the breeze has dropped completely, so neither end has any advantage. The Bulldogs are doing it the better.
Bytheen opposed to Reynolds. He's rucked all day today. But Bytheen won the tap, got it down to Krieg's been a great player, probably about the best for the Dogs. Out there towards Allen. In turn, Smith over towards Thomas. An opportunity to kick his third. Straight through the middle. 3 goals, Greg Thomas. 16 goals to the Dogs. Throwing 8 points as well. And Sturt have only a paltry 5 goals, 3. And we've had 18 minutes, in fact 17 and a half minutes of this third term. And it's all the Bulldogs.
All the Bulldogs is right. In fact, Rudy Mandamaker has kicked 6 goals for the afternoon, and that's more than the entire Double Blues score. Chip in Greg Thomas with 3 goals, and that's not a bad effort. Singles to Graham, Girdham, Jeffrey Robertson and Peter Bytheen. In fact, Keith Allen has 1 and Anderson has 1, so all the forwards for the Bulldogs have scored.
Let's see if the Sturt side can salvage something out of this game. The bounce is being recalled.
Pretty difficult to bounce that ball now. I think the umpires will probably throw the ball in the air in that sticky centre.
Well, they're certainly struggling to get any height. See what Schramm can do this time. It's a better bounce, quite a good bounce as Reynolds wins the tap. Over the top of that, Greg Smith. Reynolds in there again, but the free kick will go the way of Greg Smith for being held without possession. So once again, it'll be the Central District side to go into attack. Quick handball to Van Dommel. Now the wobbly kick. And the mark's been taken by McCarthy.
McCarthy's been a solid player at centre-half back today. He's had plenty of work to do. The Bulldogs have bombarded the goals. Scott Field providing run, also worked tirelessly all day. Klomp couldn't control it. Scott Lee keeps the ball in play. Now Whittlesey over the top of the ball. The umpire said he got a push in the back, and I still perhaps think they've been a little bit soft on those today. Whittlesey. Muskeni at the front, had the ball thumped away by Buckley. Klomp over the top, shovels out the handball, but the umpire said it was too late. He's called for a ball up. 19 minutes gone, third term, Elizabeth Oval. 104 plays, 33. My mathematics serves me right. It's a 71-point lead to the Bulldogs. Pryor off to Anderson on the left boot. He goes. Well placed underneath that one, Girdham. The Bulldogs have looked very impressive today. They've played on at every opportunity. This one no exception. Greg Thomas. The back of the pack, McCarthy again. The defensive kick is high. Reynolds now underneath that one. At the front of the pack, Rene Van Dommel. And Van Dommel plays on quickly also. Wide to Robertson. The left boot is high into the forward zone. Philip Graham underneath that one. Andrew Downs comes out and thumps it away. Rudy Mandamaker, his direct opponent. Painter over the top of it. Now Rudy comes out. He stole that, Rudy. Daryl Smith out of defence.
And the free kick will be paid down the ground. Smith was pushed in the back after disposing of that ball. And the free kick should be taken. Appears to be Richter. In fact, Peter Dace. Oh, gee, they look alike, those two. Reynolds tried to tap the ball behind him. Scott Lee takes it with a quick handball out towards Pryor. Pryor in turn with a short pass to Greg Thomas. Thomas now with a wobbly kick. In fact, it's a ship kick. Of course, that means it floats like a ship. Now inboard again. The ball back over towards Painter. Painter back towards Field. Field's kick is long. Back there, Bubner front position. Wilmot up high but couldn't control it. Players working desperately there. Klomp there, strong body work. Bubner over the top again. And we'll have a ball up only about 15 metres away from the Sturt goal.
Kim, I'd like to explain that ship kick. A lot of South Australian fans wouldn't know that one. That's a VFL term. Well,
in fact, the ship kick is when the ball actually floats. It's a floater because ships float. Pretty hard to work out, that one.
Thanks for that, Kim. Bit of VFL terminology sleeping into commentary. The ball will come back into play. Doing the ruck work will be Brady, number 3, opposed to Klomp, 22. Brady got the thump down. It went to Pryor, who fed off the handball. He did that well to Girdham. Girdham having a run on the ball. Pushes it wide, looking for Bytheen across the top of that pack and out of play. And big Peter Bytheen jogs back to do the rucking work.
It's probably not even fair to credit the Victorians with that type of comment. I invented that for a little bit of colour.
Thank you, Kim. Bytheen, 21.
I probably won't use it again.
I hope it was a P. Puts the ball to ground. Over the top of that one, Smith. Tackled by Girdham and Lee Adams. And Girdham today has been a very impressive player. So too's Daryl Smith for the Double Blues, 32. He's played that defensive ruck roving role. With the way the Bulldogs have been scoring, he's had plenty to do. Reynolds got it down. Whittlesey fumbled it as it came to ground. He got the handball across the top. Smith with pace and run. But bursts through half forward, pushes the ball towards full forward. Muskeni's there at the front of the pack. Buckley, and Buckley's won himself a free kick for being pushed in the back, and I certainly think that one was there. 15-metre penalty now applied as Muskeni had something to say to umpire Steve Semler. Buckley from full back. Comes grandstand side. Underneath that one, Smith flew early but couldn't take control. Now over the top of it, David Eye. The Central District players were calling for a free kick. Umpire Semler was having none of that as Girdham comes up from the mud with the ball.
Bytheen mates up plenty of ground to contest his throw-in. He's there in plenty of time. Reynolds up high. Bytheen used his body, and the free kick will go the way of Bytheen. I can't understand that. I just can't work out these decisions today. The ball goes centre field. Now Brady takes the ball. All the time in the world. Decides to put it up high. In fact, it's very high. Up high is Allen. Couldn't control it. Back of the pack, Philip Graham. In there is Lee. Overran the ball. Comes back towards Reid. He's been very quiet today. Now Darviniza. He's tripped. Play on. No free kick. Eventually the ball comes out to McGowan. McGowan in turn to Painter. Painter's left foot kick out looking for Wilmot. And this time he's got front position. In fact, it's Heinrich. Heinrich drives it in long. Bytheen back there. And it's good defensive play by Peter Bytheen. Great back play.
Yeah, well, Heinrich backed his judgment. He went for the goal square. He knew that it was unmanned. Peter Bytheen made plenty of ground to get back and cut that ball off before it scored. Pryor feeds off the handball. Buckley short through centre. Krieg into space. The handball is wide. Girdham in support. Goes straight down the field. They've been pretty direct today, the Bulldogs. Back underneath that one, a good mark taken by Richter. He feeds it off. Downs. High goes the ball. Underwood running across to try and get there for the double blues. He finally gets the rebound. Long into the forward zone it goes. No mark taken by Field. He butters up for an opportunity of handballing out to Klomp. He did that well. Klomp goes short. Bubner's first there, the half volley. Did that well. Kept the ball in front of him. Fed it off. Now Klomp bursts his way through. Lines up the goals. It'll be offline, however. And through for one behind. So the double blues have added only 2 points to the halftime score. They go to 5 goals 4, trailing Central District 16 goals 8. And this is going to be a walkover.
And Merv Kane has made a few moves. In fact, he's taken Wilmot off the ground, and he now has Heinrich playing at full forward. The mark taken by Greg Thomas, been a useful player today. He goes wide to the outer side and finds the vice-captain in Mark Pryor. Pryor chips out another pass out there looking for Lee, and Lee Adams takes a good mark. Adams with a short pass back towards Krieg. Playing possession football at the moment. Now going across ground. It's 3-on-1 out there. Oh, good body work there by Girdham. That allowed Scott Lee to take the mark. Now Lee chips out a pass and he finds the big chap in Keith Allen. Allen feeds off quickly to Van Dommel. Van Dommel spears out a pass looking for Anderson. So they're crisscrossing around the ground. Cleverly takes back towards Smith. Now Graham tackled by Darviniza when he didn't have possession. And Philip Graham will receive the free kick. About 50 metres out from the central goal.
Central District game this afternoon is reminiscent of Norwood football, possession football. Putting the ball to a player downfield and running to space, and they've done that pretty well this afternoon.
Philip Graham already has 1 goal to his name. Put everything into that kick. The timing wasn't quite there. It doesn't matter because Mandermaker's taken the mark. Well, Rudy certainly had a day out today. He's already kicked 6, 5 in the first half, 1 in this term. And even though the angle is fairly acute, I would say the way he's been placing the ball today, that he has every chance of kicking this. Umpire doesn't move a muscle, right through the middle. The Bulldogs march on their merry way, 17 goals 8. And a dismal day out for the Blues, 5 goals 4.
7 goals to Rudy Mandermaker. He scored 3 in the first term, 2 in the second, and 2 goals this third term. His opening opponent was Peter Reid. They gave Reid the job of picking up the big fellow. He had 6 goals on the board before Andrew Downs went to pick him up. And now 1 on down. So pretty good day to the big full forward. A hapless day for the Sturt fullbacks.
26.5 minutes gone. But something to look forward to now is whether Rudy can kick 10 goals or not. The rain appears to have subsided for a while. Sun trying to break out here at Elizabeth. Bytheen wins another tap. He's done pretty well when coming onto the ground. Smith's been a steady player all day. Oh, great body work, Pryor. Great acceleration. The kick wasn't all that flash. And it's been taken there by Peter Daish. Daish's kick looks for Whittlesey. Whittlesey twisted through the air but couldn't take the mark. Pryor again. Oh, gee, steady. Brady back to Pryor. Over to Girdham. Girdham in turn to Bytheen. In fact, it was Buckley. Over the top of that is David I. Picked up by Butler. Let's see if he goes for a run. Decides not to. Clears with a long kick. Out there towards Keith Allen. Being well pressured by McCarthy. McCarthy's done a pretty good job today. Dives in there again. Desperate work, and he has won himself a free kick for a push in the back.
Yeah, well, Keith Allen jumped on him like a jockey. McCarthy's very solid at centre-half back, an underrated player. The kick is long underneath that one, Bytheen, and Bytheen has been a very solid player since coming on to replace Richard Lounder. Shorty goes Robertson. Robertson having his best game for some time. Wide it goes Girdham, also a player right in the thick of things. Into Philip Graham, one of their quieter players. Well shepherded by Anderson. He gets away the left boot kick into the forward zone. It goes. McCarthy's first there for the Double Blues, and the reliable centre-half back has another mark. Handball is fed off to Underwood, picking up kicks now deep in defence. Looking out wide there for Chris McGowan. The ball was thumped away from him. John Richter picks up the ball, number 18, playing in an uncustomary Guernsey. We normally see him playing in 25, but he had that ripped off him just before half-time.
Reid contesting the ruck work with Allen. Picked up by McGowan. There's the zone. They're in the third term. Another good term. In fact, a great term for the Bulldogs. They kicked 6 goals. Sturt could not manage a goal. So the score's at three-quarter time. The Bulldogs 17 goals, 8, 110. Absolutely thrashing the Blues. 5 goals, 4, 34.
Number 5385.
Final term in Elizabeth Oval. It's the Bulldogs by 76 points. They kicked 6 goals in that third quarter. The Double Blues didn't get one on the board, and they now enjoy a very handy lead. Whittlesey over the top of the ball, got off the handball to Painter. Couldn't quite control it. He tried to get a handball out wide looking for Kim Russell. Russell couldn't get the ball clear of the pack, and a ball up will take place. Rudy Mandermaker was the destroyer. He has 7 goals. In fact, he scored more than the Double Blues' entire score, big Rudy Mandermaker. Greg Thomas with 3 goals has been pretty handy around the packs too, and they've been the 2 players up forward that have done the damage. Smith, solid player in the first 3 quarters over the top of that one. He couldn't get clear on that occasion, and now again another ball up.
110 plays 34. John Painter, after kicking 5 goals last week, has been a little bit quiet today. Kim Russell, the quick feed out to Smith. He hasn't been. He's worked hard all day. It's a high kick. Front position was Buckley. He couldn't control it. Now the ball tapped out towards Underwood. Van Dommel, beautiful one-handed pickup. Got the ball over to Mark Pryor, captain to vice-captain. Now the pass out towards Smith. Mike Smith takes the mark, plays on quickly. Kick around his body. McCarthy overran the ball. Graham missed with the handball. Intercepted by Darviniza. Head-high tackle. Play on advantage. Darviniza. Now the kick is long, and it's been taken by Whittlesey. The Blues look a little bit sharper. Over to Heinrich. In turn back to Painter. Painter puts it out wide, gives the players a chance to run. And Russell likes doing that. He's got a ton of pace. Swings around, now steadies the body. Kick on its way. Reynolds doing the shepherding, but it's just touched on the line by big Richard Lounder. Great play. A little bit of bad luck for the Blues. They'll take anything they can get at the moment. They now move on to a mammoth 5-5, 35, trailing Central 17-8, 110, and it hasn't been a big day at the office for the Blues.
Coming off the field is Lee Adams, first game player for the Bulldogs, having a rest. Back onto the field, Roger Girdham. Central District come out of defence. Rene Van Dommel with the ball. He'll be run down if he's not careful. He was. Over the top of that one, Girdham opposed to Chris McGowan. The umpire couldn't separate the players, and he calls for a ball up. In fact, with that point, the Double Blues have kicked half of their third quarter tally. They only scored 2 points during that third term. 6 goals, 2 to the Central District side. Forward they go through Smith, picking up another possession. Now Scott Lee back, Rene Van Dommel under pressure from McGowan. No 15-metre penalty. The Bulldog captain has picked up another possession. He's been one of the fighting players for the Bulldogs today. 2 games in 14 they've won. Now 3 down, a great one hand to mark. The big fella's been a good player. Now Thomas has run his full 15 metres. Forward goes the ball. Underneath that one, Rudy Mandermaker over that player's head. Now an opportunity for the Double Blues to come out of defence. Darviniza got off the handball, looking for Richter. Richter was well out of bounds, but tried to play on. I suppose you've got to play to the whistle sounds.
Well, disappointing crowd at Elizabeth Oval today, but conditions aren't good and both sides very low on the ladder. A crowd of 2,614 people.
Well, considering the conditions, and I think perhaps the form of the Bulldogs side, certainly a little disappointing, but not surprising. Conditions haven't been ideal for football supporters to come out in the thousands, that's for sure. But the sun is trying to break through here at Elizabeth Oval. The ball comes back into play. From behind, the big thump away came from Darvaniza. That's the first tap out he's won today. We see him playing out of the half-back flank or a back pocket, not normally noted as being a ruckman.
Well, the Blues are in all sorts of bother. There's a section of the crowd. They have not kicked a goal since the 14-minute mark of the second term. It's been a pretty consistent effort by the Bulldog side today. They kicked 7 in the first term, 4 in the second, 6 in the third. And they're yet to post one in this final term. We've had just on 3.5 minutes as the Bulls comes out. Well, good body work there by Daish. Daish is flanked by Painter. He managed to tap the ball forward. Tried to get it back to Painter. That was good play by Peter Daish. Painter tried to draw the player. Wasn't effective though as Krieg steals the ball. Punch forward there by Allen. Krieg again gets the handball out towards Mike Smith. Smith puts it up high looking for Mandamaker. Front possession. Oh, he couldn't take that. There was a push in the back unsighted. Greg Thomas in towards goal. It's gone through. I couldn't pick up who kicked that.
It's Anderson.
So the little rover posts his first goal for the game. In fact, his second goal. He kicked the very first goal of the game. So the Blues are on 5-5 and the Bulldogs move on to 18 goals, 8.
Their forward setup has worked very well for them today, the Bulldogs. Anderson, the rover, with 2 goals. Greg Thomas, the other rover, with 3. And Rudy Mandamaker with 7 have been stars.
Centre field. Lounder again opposed to Reynolds. Lounder won the tap. Out towards Robertson. He's been a good player. Lounder again picked it up with one hand. Back to Robertson. Back to Girdham. In turn to Van Dommel. This is better football by the Dogs. Makes you wonder what they've been doing all year. Picked up there by... I picked that player up, it's Richter, but the free kick is going back to Downs.
Yes, Richter is hard to pick up, of course, playing in the number 18 Guernsey.
Over to McCarthy. McCarthy to the outer side, in fact down the middle. Oh, Painter, that's a good grab. Nice mark, John Painter. Places it out to the outer side. Scott Field, head over the ball. He certainly is a tryer. Good tackle, Scott Lee. In fact, he applied the tackle for too long and the free kick will go back towards Scott Field, should I say.
Field with the ball, goes direct through half forward. A well-placed kick has found Greg Whittlesey as the sun beams down over Elizabeth Oval. We haven't seen much of that today. It's been mainly rain. Now the big fellow Reynolds coming into the game as the ball's starting to dry out just a little bit. From 50 metres out, he'll have an opportunity of scoring his first goal for the afternoon. In fact, I think today for David Reynolds is a game that he'll want to forget. Vic Richard Lounder has taken him apart. When Lounder's gone off the ball, Peter Bythene's played a pretty good hand as well. Reynolds lines him up, kicks on its way. It's right through the middle. Reynolds first. That's the first goal on the board since the 14-minute mark of the second term for the Double Blues. And you can see that all the Double Blues fans have gone home because there wasn't 1 ounce of applause.
No, that was very quiet. It was similar to a State of Origin game here in Adelaide. No applause whatsoever for that goal. But you'd hardly be cheering anyway when you consider they trail by 116 to 41 points, so a massive margin. 18 goals, 8 to 6-5. I can't work it out.
75 points the margin.
Thank you, David.
As the ball comes back to centre field. Glad you're a good footballer, Kim. The big thump away came from Reynolds to ground. It goes over the top of it. Pryor working very hard. He's been a great player for the Bulldogs today. Now Krieg, also one of their better players, picked up a number of possessions. The handball out to Anderson. Worked hard also at the bottom of the pack. Rudy Mandamaker, one hand. You got to push in the back. Well, they picked up some easy free kicks out there today, some of the players. Then again, Schramm was their man right on the spot. He obviously saw an infringement and he's picked out to big Rudy. 7 goals on the board, Rudy Mandamaker. The breeze has dropped slightly, so he won't be kicking into much of a breeze. Almost straight on to goals. 3 in the first, 2 in the second, 2 in the third. That won't be a goal in the fourth, that's for sure. It's going to drop short. Oh, big mark from Thomas. The little fella took a fly and he grabbed down a screamer. 3 goals today, and doesn't he love it? One of the Bulldogs' best, no doubt about that. First rover to date. Last week against Norwood, he started on the wing. They moved him to a roving berth late in the second half. He played so well, they opened him up as first rover today, and he hasn't let the Bulldogs down. Kicks on its way. 4 goals to Greg Thomas. A fine display of roving. The Bulldogs certainly look a lot happier today.
Well, Cowboy Neil said when the time that they recruited Greg Thomas that they needed someone with senior experience and had the ability to kick goals, and that's certainly what he's done today. He's posted 4 goals. That was a great mark. The others have been true Rovers goals, a few snapshots. And he's also won a few free kicks for getting at the front of them and the bottom of packs. But that was a beauty. The big leap from behind. And as I mentioned, his 4th goal. 19-8 plays 6-5.
You don't see little fellas take marks like that too often, particularly in these conditions. Ball goes up and Big Reynolds pushes it down. Coming through strongly, Dacey threw away the ball, no free kick. Now Scott Field got it off to Kim Russell. Russell on the left boot, goes towards goals, but Peter Bubner has that one covered in defence and has taken a pretty easy mark. He goes short, Robertson providing run. Bubner in support, gets the ball back in the 1-2. Now goes through the centre of the field. Greg Smith picks up the ball, and we haven't seen much of him since the first quarter when he handballed the ball across the line. Brady, solid at centre half back, puts the ball high to half forward. Philip Graham's there at the front of the pack. Darvanese has taken another fine mark.
Gee, you don't have to do much to take a mark, do you? Leo Darvanese. Just look through this central lineup. There's been a lot of good players there today. Krieg, Bubner on the last line of defence. This man, Mark Pryor, the vice-captain of the side. He's been as steady as a rock. So too is Scott Lee as he chips that one out to Mike Smith, and he's got better as the game's gone on. In towards Girdham, he's had a good game. As I said, you can go right through the lineup, and there's been a lot of good players for the Dogs. Van Dommel, oh, he's paid that. Now that's ridiculous. You've got to hold the ball. The rule says you've got to mark it.
Well, I think umpire Schramm and Stephen Semler this afternoon have known that umpire's advisor Desi Foster's here observing the game. Perhaps they're just a little nervous. There's a player up, McCarthy, wearing the number 2 Guernsey. Of course, that was made famous by Peter Motley. We'd like to wish Peter all the best in his recovery. We know he's up this weekend at Tailem Bend recovering. I think the South Australian football public wish him all the best. Field. Wide to Painter. Painter back to Field, providing run. The Double Blues are trying to set things up, but they've just been hopelessly outclassed today. Bubner over the top of it, stolen by Painter, put to ground by Greg Smith. Now the ball comes out. Heinrich off to Klomp. Klomp lines up the goals, but there's a free kick behind play. As Klomp's kick went through, Heinrich has given away a free kick, and it looks like it's going the way of Scott Lee.
Well, Peter Heinrich, he was up before the tribunal only last week or the week before, only recently managed to get off. Certainly a fiery customer, enjoys a competition. Another low floating kick taken by Krieg. He feeds off to Mike Smith. Smith puts it out wide towards Philip Graham. Graham's chipped in and out of the game. It's been fairly useful though. The kick is high. Oh, Thomas, he's taken another one. Well, he's certainly added something to this game today around the goals and now with his high marking. And there's another high mark by Peter Reid. He's had a dirty day. Had 5 kicked on him early by Mandamaker. He kicks to the outer side. Flintoff's now onto the ground. Looking brand new out there. Yet to hit the turf. Kicks it out towards Rudy, and he takes another mark. Well, let's see if Rudy can possibly get 10 today. He's kicked 7. He's at a pretty acute angle. In fact, he's going to share it. He's kicked it right across goal out looking for Mike Smith. Now, they've got the numbers 2-on-1. Painter's working hard. It's a good tackle. Oh, full credit to the Blues side. They've managed to get out of trouble here. The long handball over the top to Scott Field. Now the ball tapped out towards Brady. In there is Launder. He likes trying to pick that ball up with one hand. Very delicate work. Greg Smith. Short pass out to Krieg. Along with Thomas, would probably be the 2 best for the Bulldogs. And that pass is out. Couldn't be taken by Reid. Now Darvanese out the back door. towards Downs. Downs across ground to high wobbly kick. Smith's got the scent, uses his body well and takes a fine mark. Short pass, Greg Thomas couldn't take that one. Strong tackling. Now stolen by Anderson. Here's another one. No, it's not. It's offline. Certainly an opportunity. Anderson holds his helmet. It's too late. The damage is done. The Dogs move on to 19-9. That's pretty accurate kicking. 124 points. Sturt on 6 goals 5.
Anderson was one of the very dangerous players early in the season when the Bulldogs were in fine form. In fact, they won their first 3 games by big margins and looked likely final 5 contenders, but they collapsed mid-season. Only won 2 games out of the last 14. Currently be sitting 8th on the premiership ladder. McCarthy goes wide, looking for McGowan. He has the run of the ball in front of Pryor. Off the ground he goes. Whittlesey keeps the ball in play, feeds the ball back. Painter. There's a free kick picked out, however, and it's going the way of Whittlesey. He must go back over his mark to take the free kick. Inboard it goes. Daryl Smith direct towards goals. Wellesby's underneath that one. 45. He's obviously just come onto the field. Muskeni back to Underwood. The kick was well smothered. Now an opportunity for Heinrich. Bubner picks up the crumbs. Off it goes to Brady. Brady's kick is out of defence. No one home for the Bulldogs, however, as Whittlesey picks up the ball. Goes short. Underneath that one, Painter, the easiest of marks. Now looking to get on with the game. He goes short into a pocket and heads. Underneath that one, Scott Field on the left boot. In fact, to McGowan. Lines up the goals, puts it right through the middle. The 7th goal on the board for the Double Blues. So they are 7 goals 5, trailing the Bulldogs 19 goals 9.
Well, it was good football. It was a good pass by John Pounder. He found Painter, he found young McGowan. McGowan steadied and put that one through the middle. He's been a pretty useful player. But, gee, they've had to work hard for their touches today because this central side have been far superior. $19 goals 9, plays 7-5.
Back at centre, big Lounder to do the ruck work. He's won most of the tap outs today. In fact, Lounder's dominance has been such at Central District that big Andrew Moulds hasn't been able to get back into the senior lineup. Moulds, you might recall, was in the state squad earlier in the season. Not able to get into the Central District lineup. Lounder puts the ball to ground. Flintoff now onto the field, having a run. Wider than White. Guess whose mum's got a whirlpool? There he is, trying to get himself dirty. David Flintoff started the game with interchange bench, and now 15 minutes into the final term, he gets a run.
Lounder with the tap, down towards Smith, taken by McGowan again. Reynolds. New player onto the field is Wellesby. Over to Russell. Over the head of Buckley. Out there, Budnow. Clean pick up. Oh, it's been stolen though by Russell. In fact, it's not Russell. I'll pick up that player. Muskeni it was, but a great tackle. So on a minor score results. 7-6, plays 19-9.
2 goals 2 to Adrian Muskeni. Hasn't been the Bulldogs' worst forward, that's for sure. Robertson brings the ball back in to Bytheen. Underneath that one, David Flintoff. Flintoff over to Smith. It's Michael Smith back to Bytheen. He sold the dummy. Back it goes to Smith, who's run himself into trouble. Conceding ground goes the handball back to Robertson. He's picked up a ton of possessions today. Wide it goes to Girdham. Girdham through half forward, places the kick, looking for Graham, and a good running mark to Graham. Now he plays on the left boot. He's put it into Greg Thomas, the 4-goal man. Greg Thomas has the mark 35 metres out on a very slight angle. He's not a good kick, however. He won't make the distance. Puts it in the goal square. Rudy Vandermaker's there. Punched away from him by Daryl Smith. Underwood over the top of that. Now Richter towards the boundary line and heads and out of play. 17 minutes gone, final term. 19 goals 9, 124 the Bulldogs. Sturt 7 goals 6, 48 in a miserable day for the Double Blues.
Actually, I'm just going through my notes here, Dave, and I'll have to take you to task about Andrew Moulds making the state side because, gee, he was only in and out of the central side earlier in the year, so I question that comment.
Yeah, I think you might be right, Kim, but perhaps I thought he should have been. His form out in the early part of the season was outstanding.
That doesn't always mean a lot, though, does it, as Krieg gets the handball back towards Smith. No offence meant, none taken, I'm sure, as he gets the handball over towards Smith. Greg Smith this time. As it rains here again at Elizabeth Oval. Desperate work by both players, and we'll have a ball up by Daryl Schramm.
Yeah, well, I've always wanted to be a state selector. Schramm puts the ball to ground. Stolen by Flintoff. Mr. Magic certainly been struggling lately. There's a player who's almost had
the coat hanger.
Tackle by David Ike was certainly high. Not much in that. Up comes Smith with the ball. Pushes in Anderson. Good mark in front of Richter. Now Anderson has 2 goals already this afternoon. 35 metres out. The angle is only slight. He's capable of kicking the distance, but he's elected to go short, however, in turn, and David Flintoff has the mark. The distance from goal hasn't been improved, but certainly the angle has, and Flintoff is now directly in front. Flintoff was one of the Bulldogs' best players early in the season also. Torpedo punt at goal. It's a wobbly one. Offline, 2 for 1 behind. 19 goals, 10. So the Bulldogs now have hit double figures in their points scoring department. Sturt is sitting pretty on 7 goals, 6.
18.5 minutes gone. Andrew Downs to bring the ball back into play. Yes, and when Central were firing earlier, it was because of players like Flintoff and Russell Shields who were starring for the Bulldogs. The kick is long. Up high was Daish. McGowan over the top. Smith tries to barge his way through. Stolen by Scott Lee. Got boot to ball. The kick is high. Thomas couldn't control it. Ball paddled towards the boundary line by Eye. Coming through Van Dommel. Eventually works the ball over the line. So at the 19-minute mark of this final term, it's the Blues 48 points, trailing by an absolute mile to the Dogs, 125 points.
McCarthy from behind got the ball down. Michael Smith, the former East Perth man, over the top of that one. Got it off to Gurdon. Gurdon with pace. Pushes the ball forward. Pryor underneath that one. Had it stolen by Painter. Ball's getting very greasy and difficult for players to pick it up. Underwood, the handball over the top. Whittlesey with run, goes short. Over the top to Kim Russell. Russell has Wellesby running into a pocket, but elects not to use that player. He's gone back for the long kick. Now he centres it. Wide it goes. Chris McGowan at centre-half forward. 45 metres out directly in front. Will go back to have a shot at goal.
Take a pretty big kick from here.
Yeah, I think you're right. He perhaps had the opportunity of playing on. He elected not to. Pretty confident, though. He's going for a long torpedo. It's going to drop short in the goal square. It goes. Reynolds is there opposed to Bytheen. Now Moskeny snaps at goal. Left boot. Oh, it's come around. Great goal, Moskeny. Certainly a beauty. 3 goals this afternoon for him in a lone hand up forward.
Well, he's played all day from that forward pocket, and 3 goals. It's not a bad effort from limited opportunities. One gets the feeling just watching Moskeny that possibly could work a little bit harder during the game when the ball's not in his immediate area. I'll eventually get that out, but nonetheless, it's Sturt 8 goals, 654. Central 19-10, 125, and it certainly was a great snapshot.
Yeah, Adrian Moskeny there. If you could read lips, just saying that he thought that was a bit of class. Having a chat with David Buckley. Bytheen got the tap down. Daryl Smith punched it forward. Over the top of that Underwood. Ruck roving this afternoon. Greg Smith and Daryl Smith have a little wrestle. Greg Smith, of course, on screen, well known as a former Sydney Swans and Collingwood player. Bytheen in ruck again. Reynolds couldn't get the tap either. There's a push in the back for short. No, says the umpire. That's a free kick. Well, Underwood was ridden to the ground by Smith. The umpire called it for holding the ball. Flintoff. Short. Underneath that one, an opportunity for Keith Allen. Gone begging. Now the handball out. Flintoff providing run. Goes short. Rudy Mandamaker, 7 goals already. Hands the ball. Couldn't control it. Now picks up the crumbs. Kicks around the body. Short to Anderson in the pocket. Anderson can go all the way if he wants. That's what he does. Heads towards goal. Picks it up. Pops it through. 20 goals, 10 Central Districts. 3 goals possession. The Double Blues trailing on 8 goals, 6.
Well, Rudy Mandamaker's certainly been the highlight of the day. Apart from the good football by the Bulldogs side, the crowd certainly love him here. Every time he gets near the ball, the crowd chant out his name. And that was good work. He went one way then the other. Great vision, got the ball back around Anderson, and he finished off with his 3rd goal.
"22 minutes gone, final term, Elizabeth Oval. The Bulldogs comfortable victors today. Whittlesea it was, shooting out the handball, looking for Russell. The thump away came down to Pryor, whose kick was wide. Mike Smith leads in the race for that ball. It'll beat him to the line, however, and across it goes. Boundary umpire was a man right on the spot. Girdham just picks it up. Bytheen and Reynolds in ruck. Big fellas go at it. Bytheen took front position, got it down. Scott Field paddled it forward. Brady over the top of that one, pushed in the back, no free. Play on, called umpire Stephen Semler. Now a ball up. Steve Semler obviously enjoying the conditions today. Wet and windy at Elizabeth Oval. The sun tried to come out on a couple of occasions, just couldn't get through the cloud. Greg Thomas off the ground. Painter feeds off the handball. McGowan trying to provide some space for himself. The handball was short. Smith punched it forward. Thomas now for the Bulldogs picks it up. Chip short. Rudy Mandamaker out underneath that one. Down stumped the ball away from him. Now Anderson an opportunity. He can't quite keep it in play, and across the line it goes. 24 minutes gone. We're almost into time on final term at Elizabeth Oval.
20 goals, 10 plays, 8 goals, 6. Big Rudy to contest the ruck. Downs takes front position. Rudy with a big thump forward. Everything he touches turns the goal today. Darvaniza tried to shrug the tackle. Goes for the safety of the line. We'll have a throw in about 25 metres around from the Bulldog goal. Keith Allen opposed to McCarthy. McCarthy may have won that tap. In there, Darvaniza again. Van Dommel off the ground. Over to Flintoff. Flintoff on the left leg. He bangs through his first goal. He's only been on the ground this quarter. We'll say about 10 minutes of this quarter, but he's managed to kick 1 goal, 1. The Double Blues are on 8 goals, 6, and the Bulldogs 21 goals, 10, and they really have given the Blues a football lesson today.
79 points now, the margin. Central Districts have done it pretty easily. The Double Blues have kicked 3 goals this term, however. They couldn't jag one during that 3rd term. Central District, on the other hand, have 5 goals this term, so they're still outscoring the Double Blues.
Bytheen opposed to Reynolds. He's had to ruck all day, David Reynolds. He's been beaten, but he hasn't stopped trying as he wins another tap. Greg Smith, body over the ball. In there, Reynolds again. Anderson, quick kick. Really a good mark there by David Eye. He eventually receives a free kick for a high tackle. Peter Vivian, the runner today for the Bulldogs. Former great wingman for the club. Big leap there by Wellesby, couldn't take the ball. Free kick for being held, and that should go the way of Peter Krieg.
Krieg, who helped to set up this victory for the Bulldogs in that 1st term, was dynamic in that quarter. He picked up something like 8 possessions. Really was one of the players that got the Bulldogs moving. Underwood gets it off to Daish. Daish the handball over the top looking for Whittlesea. That ball was intercepted by Pryor. Now Robertson an opportunity out wide. Mike Smith certainly coming into the game in this 2nd half. It was quiet early, but really has been well in the game late in the 3rd quarter and the 4th quarter. Now McGowan, he fumbled it under pressure from Smith. The handball went back. Over the top of that one was Eye. He couldn't dispatch the kick. Now Flintoff. Flintoff on the left boot. Pushes it towards Robertson at the centre of the field. He got both hands around the ball but couldn't take the mark. Krieg came out with it. Now Smith, Underwood, Reynolds, clean bowl, Field. Back to Richter. In fact, that was Daish. Now Moskini.
And Peter Krieg's copped a heavy one down behind play. Well, it was actually in play, but he's still down behind play, if that makes sense.
Yeah, well, that's not good news for the Bulldogs. They've won convincingly today. They don't need injuries heading into next week's game. Of course, it's a split round next week. They've got North Adelaide at Football Park on Sunday. After today's performance, the Bulldogs could look, well, to at least have a show against the leaders on the ladder. Painter, 35 metres out. The angle is only slight. He's going to back himself in for this one. Has one goal kicked during the second term. Lines up an opportunity of scoring goal number 2. It's going to be short, off hands and through for one behind. As Creed comes off the field and coming back on to replace him, big Richard Lounder.
Well, it looks like that Peter Creed should be okay, which is good news for the Bulldogs. As Buckley drops over a short pass. Now the ball comes back to Buckley again. Goes across goal, finds Pryor. Scott Lee's got by himself. The ball now ends up with Lee. He chips out a short pass. Mike Smith couldn't quite control that one.
Mike Smith, the former East Perth man, knee heavily bandaged. Doesn't look serious. He seems to be moving pretty well. Bython in front, got it down. Anderson couldn't control it.
And once again, the rain comes down here at Elizabeth Oval.
Yeah, well, it's been on and off all day. The sun's tried to get through on a couple of occasions, but mainly we've had rain. McGowan over the top of it for the Double Blues. Threw it away to Painter, no free kick. Now Underwood, can't finesse in these conditions. Brady over the top of it. Pushed in the back and a free kick goes the way of big Craig Brady. Brady's done a fine job at centre-half back, so much so the comp's been taken off. Reed thumped it down. Painter, quick handball over the top. Russell. Skinny underneath that one. Ball was punched away from him. Scott Field tackled strongly by Robertson. Now Buckley out of defence for the Bulldogs. Punches it, looking for Graham. Richter, the quick kick away wide. Skinny will lead in the race for that ball. He thumps it forward. Philip Graham goes in strongly. So does Phil Heinrich. Heinrich comes out with the ball as the siren sounds to complete this game at Elizabeth Oval. The Bulldogs have got up, and what a relief to Cowboy Neil. Central District 21 goals 10, 136, have beaten the Double Blues 8 goals 755.